national anthem, please welcome John King. John is honored to be asked to sing for the Gatemen this evening. Recently a Wareham resident, he is a graduate of Rhode Island College and has performed with the New Continentals on their Australian concert tour with recording artist Sandy Patty, and was an artist in residence for 20 years with the Newport Playhouse. Last year, John earned rave reviews as Edna in Little Theater's production of Hairspray. He and his fiancée are co-directors of the Saints and Singers Chorus in Buzzards Bay. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome John King.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Throwing out the ceremonial first pitch this evening is broadcast intern Cameron Stewart. He attends Baylor University and majors in communications and journalism. Catching the pitch is number 14, Luke Roscom. When you're ready, Cameron, let's see a pitch. Here tonight to say those two famous words we've all been waiting to hear, we have members of our Gatemen broadcast team, J.D. Rachi, Mary Orders, and Trevor Russo. Play ball! The back kids for this evening are Nolan Blackwell and Daniel Peter.
As an entire broadcast team, I'd give us a B-. Cam's pitch was off. Let's be honest. Ours was stellar. Cam's was like a C, so we're around a B- as a team.
I expected that.
We all did. Your dad's was way better.
Got shut up by a 50-something-year-old.
Just stepping outside.
We almost ready to go, Trev Dog? Huh? Or not? Okay. Is Cam coming up here now? And like, there it is. Just stepping outside.
From Spillane Field in Wareham, Massachusetts, it's a West Division matchup between the Wareham Gatemen and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Hi, folks. Welcome to Spillane Field. J.D. Rachi here with you alongside Cameron Stewart. Glad to be bringing you this one on the Gatemen Baseball Network. The Gatemen coming off a 6-3 win over the Chatham Anglers last night. 6-2, a league best record, and they have been absolutely hot between both the pitching and the hitting camp.
Yeah, and they really got the hitting going last night once again after a bit of a slump over the weekend. They had trailed in their previous 4 games. They were not able to score first, but last night cruised the whole way. Had a 2-run homer from Andrew Vaughn in the first inning and didn't look back from there. It was a 5-1 lead at one point, ended up being 6-3. A solid outing from Ken Waldachuk as well, but it was great for them to get in front and keep things going offensively, and the bullpen did their job to hold on for the win.
Typically a member of the bullpen getting the start today for the Gatemen is the right-hander Connor Lunn from USC. Lunn picked up a win in his first appearance of the season early last week, and he's back on the bump today getting the start for Don Snedden's club against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Leading off for the Harbor Hawks, it's Davis Wenzel, the shortstop from your school, Cam, Baylor, and he takes a pitch outside, and it's 1-0.
Yeah, good to see a couple Baylor guys for the Harbor Hawks tonight. Hayden Kettler, the pitcher, probably not seeing the action tonight as he's a starter for Hyannis, but Davis in a weird position for him, batting leadoff. Big RBI guy for the Bears, but leading things off today.
Second Baylor Bear to take the field today. Cam threw out the first pitch here at Spillane Field this evening. 2-0 the count to Wenzel. Pitch home is swung on and missed. A good fastball on the outer half from Connor Lunn, and it's 2-1. Wenzel hitting .294 this season in the Cape. 3 doubles, 3 RBIs, and 5 runs. 2-1 from the right-hander. Is waved on and missed. Another big fastball, 2-2.
And Wenzel is a guy who has a great feel for the strike zone. He's a guy who gets on base, but is also a bit of a free swinger, has a big hack, as we've seen up here in the last 2 pitches, but he doesn't swing at many pitches out of the strike zone.
2-2, waved on and missed on the outside corner. 1 up, 1 down via the strikeout. And as always, that strikeout from Connor Lunn is brought to you by Lang, Forest, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of your Wareham Gatemen. We'll give you the numbers on Lunn now. In his first appearance, he went 4 innings, gave up 3 hits, just 1 earned run, didn't strike out a batter, so that's his first strikeout of the season, as now Trevor Hover, the designated hitter, will stride in from Arizona State. First pitch to Hover, misses low, and it's 1-0. Hover's had himself a pretty good season on the Cape just thus far. .333 the batting average through 5 games. Looking breaking ball, that one hits the inside corner, a called strike, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, Lunn's a guy, as you said, he's not going to strike out a lot of guys, pitches to contact, has good tail on both his fastball and his breaking balls, so we've seen quite a few break in onto the inside corner to lefties, outside to Davis Wenzel, the right-hander.
That time check swing, but it's a called strike on the outer half anyways, and it's 1-2.
And because of that action, he got a lot of ground balls his last time out, so I expect to see more of that tonight than maybe the overpowering strikeout stuff.
1-2 the count to Trevor Hover from Connor Lunn. Here it comes. Swung on, tipped out of the glove of Michael Amditas behind the plate, and it's still 1-2. We'll give you the defense now for the Wareham Gatemen. Michael Amditas from Miami behind the plate. Austin Shenton at third. The new Gateman, Ryan Kreidler at shortstop. Oliver Dunn at second, and Andrew Vaughn at first base. Lyle Lockhart in left. Jeremy Idens in center, and Dominic Clementi getting the start tonight in right field. A little bit of a different looking Wareham lineup tonight. Don Snedden's been tooling with some new guys in the lineup. Sahid Valenzuela not in the lineup tonight, but we should see him at some point. He is here, not yet on the active roster, though. Another 2-strike pitch from Lunn. Just missed the outer half of the plate, and it's 2-2.
It's a good-looking pitch right there, right on the outside corner, kind of like my own first pitch. But that one,
I don't know.
That one came in a little harder, maybe a bit closer to the plate.
Maybe a lot closer to the plate, I think might be the right word. 2-2 fouled off once again, and the count holds.
Hover's had himself a good start to the Cape League season, though. 333 on the year, and he's putting up a battle against Connor Lund, just second batter of the game.
He's seen a number of pitches, fouled off a couple of good ones, including that last 2-2 pitch. Here comes another 2-2 out of the hand of Lund. This one swung on, hit back up the middle. First defensive opportunity for Kreidler at short, and he delivers a strike to Andrew Vaughn, 6-3 on the putout. And that gives way to Eric Rivera with 2 outs.
I think that we talk about what a guy playing in a new position, to get him involved early is probably a good thing for him to do. Obviously, Kreidler is a shortstop. I think that was better for Don Sneddon, as he has such a great defensive shortstop in Bryson Stott. And to give him a day off and a nice, easy play for Kreidler in the first inning maybe takes a bit of the pressure off the old skipper.
Kreidler originally started the season with the Bruins at shortstop, made a couple of errors in the early season, was struggling defensively. They moved him on over to the hot corner, played much better defensively there for the rest of the season at third, but Don Sneddon electing to send him back to shortstop. As we mentioned, a couple of middle infielders on this roster. Bryson Stott off to Team USA pretty soon. Then you've also got Isaac Collins, who can play shortstop. And now Ryan Kreidler and Sahid Valenzuela. So 3 shortstops on this roster right now. Oliver Dunn could also play there, but he has played almost exclusively at second base in his collegiate career. 0-2 the count to Eric Rivera, the center fielder from FAU. It was originally going to be Matthew Barefoot in this spot from Campbell, but a late scratch, and Rivera steps in from the right side. Hitting 167 this season, watches a pitch, looked pretty good from up here, but it's 1-2.
And Barefoot was a guy I was really looking forward to seeing tonight. The junior out of Campbell, just one heck of a baseball player. Average over 360, OPS over 1,000, and 33 stolen bases for the Camels.
One of the better mascots in all of college baseball, the Campbell Camels.
NCAA tournament team this year as well. Made it to the regionals.
Thanks in large part to Matthew Barefoot, had himself, as you said, an absolutely incredible season. But Eric Rivera now another defensive opportunity from Kreidler. Nice pick on a hop, and his throw to first is in time, and the side is retired. So Connor Lund gets his first strikeout of the day, and then a pair of defensive opportunities made good by Ryan Kreidler at shortstop. We're headed to the bottom of the first inning here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Still no score between the Gatemen and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Shop from home year-round on Gatemen.org. Customize your Gatemen gear from any device, anywhere. We offer a large selection of apparel and unique gifts 24/7, 365. Hard to find sizes, colors, and styles. Youth Clinic registration is also available. Visit us today and remember us for holiday gifts at Gatemen.org. Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute care hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit CapeCodHealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
Mezzaluna is a family-run Italian restaurant. Mezzaluna.
Mike Mockma, the right-hander from Michigan State, on the mound for Hyannis. Here in the bottom of the first inning, he'll get the start for the Harbor Hawks, and he will deal with Jeremy Idings, Oliver Dunn, and Andrew Vaughn at the very least for the Gatemen. The rest of the Gatemen lineup, Lyle Lockhart will play left field and hit fourth tonight. Austin Shenton moving up on onto the 5-hole, the third baseman that leads the league in batting average. Drew Millis, the DH from Missouri State. Ryan Kreidler in the 7-hole, the shortstop from UCLA. Michael Amditis and Dominic Clementi rounded out in the 8 and 9-hole. Looking at Mike Mockma on the mound, 6'7", a tall drink of water out there for Hyannis. Just finished up his season at Michigan State, had himself a pretty good year there, but not exactly what he wanted. A 4.66 ERA in his sophomore season, 19 games, 56 innings, 57 hits, 30 runs, 29 of them earned, 17 walks, and 38 strikeouts. This season on the Cape, he's had 1 start, went 5 innings, gave up 6 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, walked 2, and struck out 4. Jeremy Idens from UCLA steps in, the first batter to face Mockma today. And the first pitch from Mockma to Idens is a called strike. and it's 0-1. Hyannis making his Gatemen debut yesterday, 2 for 4 with a double. Double that led off the game off the left field wall. We were used to seeing Skylar Hunter in this spot, but Hunter not in the lineup today. Dominic Clementi will essentially start in his spot but move on over to right, and Hyannis will play center, where Skylar Hunter usually plays. But now you've got Hyannis at the top of the order, Clementi/Hunter at the bottom. A little bit of a change up here for Don Sneddon.
Yeah, and it's been a struggle so far for Hunter, only a 156 average. I think Don Sneddon just wants to see what he has from Dom Clementi, who has struggled himself, not a hit yet in the Cape League season. So nice night to do it, back-to-back games, back-to-back nights, I should say.
2-2. Swung on, roped down the third base line and under the glove of Seth Gray. Hit into left field, a base hit. Around first and chugging for second, a stand-up double for Jeremy Hyannis. Back-to-back nights, he starts the game off for the Gatemen with a leadoff double. And there's a runner on at second and nobody out for Oliver Dunn.
A good piece of hitting there by Hyannis. It was Makma trying to come inside on him, fastball coming inside. And he doesn't exactly turn on it too well. He's still pretty jammed, but is able to get it in perfect placement down the third baseline, where the third baseman is unable to get to it. And it was rolling slowly enough that he was able to get in there for the stand-up double.
Oliver Dunn, the left-handed hitting second baseman from Utah, strides in. Takes a pitch off the plate for a ball, and it's 1-0. Dunn this season, 158, a home run, and 2 RBIs on the Cape. The numbers were much more appealing at Utah this season, though. 319 average with a 459 slugging percentage for the sophomore from Salt Lake City. 1-0, misses outside, pretty much in the exact same spot as the last pitch, and it's 2-0. Pedro Page is behind the plate today for Hyannis. Seth Gray at third, Davis Wenzel at short, Taylor Garris on at second base, and Griffin Day from Yale at first. 2-0 popped up, and it's going to be off of the whole way. Seth Gray saw it, but then it must have popped off the light pole or something. I don't know if you saw it a little bit better than I did, Cam.
I believe it did, just from the way he reacted to it. I did not get a glimpse of what it hit off of. We're looking through the chain link fence. Down the line here is pretty tough, the left field line.
Nonetheless, it's still just 2-1. Pitch misses outside, maybe a bit low as well, and it's 3-1 to Oliver Dunn. Out in the outfield today for Hyannis, it's Todd Lott, Eric Rivera at center, and in right field, Colin Hall from Georgia Tech. 3-1 the count to Oliver Dunn. The pitch home from Makma. Swung on, hit fairly deep to right center field. Ranging back toward the track is the center fielder Rivera. He makes the catch, tagging from second, and pulling into third, standing up, is Jeremy Hyannis. So a productive out for Oliver Dunn on the fly out to center field, and now there's just one out and a runner on at third for the dangerous Andrew Vaughn.
Vaughn, another home run last night, 10 RBI on the year. Has a man at third base with less than 2 out. He would love nothing more than to get in RBI number 11 and get the Gatemen started off like they did last night, scoring 2 in the first inning, get them ahead.
First pitch to Vaughn, hits the inside corner for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Vaughn at .313 this season, 2 doubles, 4 homers, and 10 RBIs. Having one of the best years in the Cape Cod Baseball League. 0-1, misses outside, and it's 1-1. One in the dirt. Good block by Pedro Page is behind home plate, and it's 2-1. We've talked about Vaughn all season long. Golden Spikes finalist. That award will be announced in a couple of weeks once the College World Series finishes up. One of only 2 underclassmen on that list. He's the youngest, though, the sophomore from Cal. Cody Clemens, the junior from Texas. Brady Singer, the senior from Florida. And then Casey Mize, former Gateman, the senior from Auburn. "3-1" hits the inside corner. Vaughn shakes his head, wasn't too sure about that call from our home plate umpire tonight, Mike Collier. But the count is still full at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
It's a dangerous pitch. Pages was set up outside trying to get Vaughn to chase. But a pitch runs inside.
This one popped up, shallow left field, but it's going to get foul down toward the porta potties here at Spillane Field, and it's 3-2.
Setting up outside again on that one. That one did run a bit more outside. We've seen what Vaughn can do if you leave one in. He can certainly clean those out. Fans at Chatham certainly know that from opening night last week.
Full count to Andrew Vaughn, runner on at third, and the pitch. Good fastball in the outer half from Mike Mockma. Sets down the most dangerous hitter in this Gatemen lineup on strikes with a runner on at third. And now there's 2 outs for Lyle Lockhart Jr.
And that fastball is not very hard, but absolutely perfect placement there. This time they set up outside. It goes outside, a bit of a tail to it, and gets Vaughn to chase. And now all of a sudden, when you had so many opportunities to get that run home with less than 2 outs, now you're dealing with the 2 outs.
And I talked with Hyannis broadcaster Chris Lucy before the game. He told me Mockma might be 6'7". You figure he throws pretty hard with that kind of frame, but not a guy that's going to overpower you despite the frame, as Lyle Lockhart takes a pitch, and it's 1-0. We saw Joe Boyle at Notre Dame from Cotuit last week. He's about 6'7", 6'8", and he throws as hard as you'd expect him to with that frame. We've been told he's topped out near 100 a couple of times. But Mockma just not that power guy. More of a finesse pitcher. Likes to mix his pitches and locate them well. Lockhart 1 for 4 yesterday in his Gateman debut. This one popped up into foul territory down the third base line, but it's going to get foul onto the tarmac behind the third base bleachers, and it's 2-1. Lockhart, the utility player from Houston, pitched this season for the Cougars, DH'd, played first base. He can play just about anywhere, playing left field tonight for the Gatemen. 2-1. Misses low, check swing, no swing, says the third base umpire, John Leeds. And it's 3-1. Similar situation where Mockma had Andrew Vaughn. This one, though, misses outside. He didn't miss to Vaughn. And on with a 2-out walk, puts runners at the corners for Austin Shenton.
And that's a big take there by Lyle Lockhart. That pitch was not off by much. Tough one to take. But he's jaws the walk ahead of the hottest hitter in the Cape League with a couple guys on base. That's a big play there by Lockhart.
Hot might be an understatement for Austin Shenton. .522 this season. It's actually statistically less likely that he's not going to have a hit. The on-base percentage looking pretty good for him as well. First pitch to him, though, hits the outside corner, and it's 0-1. So as we mentioned, .522 for Shenton, but he's also got 2 walks on the season, so the on-base percentage slightly higher than that .522 batting average. 0-1. Swung on into the 3.5 hole and into right field for a base hit. Scoring from third is Jeremy Idens. Lyle Lockhart up to third on the RBI single from Austin Shenton, and it's 1-0 Gatemen.
And when you're hot, JD, you're hot, as this pitch was not hit hard at all. He got it right where he wanted it. The runner holding on at first base, the first baseman holding on the runner at first, is able to open up that huge hole that we saw there. And it was just a lazy ground ball by Shenton, but it finds the right spot, and he's got another hit, another RBI. The beat goes on.
They search for the finest in foods, ranging from garden fresh produce to hand-selected seafood.
Now we're having some sort of delay here from the Gatemen dugout.
The Gateway Tavern is proud to be the official helmet of the Wareham Gatemen.
Drew Millis is set to hit next, DHing tonight. Here he comes now, coming out from the dugout. Not sure what was delaying him, but smile on his face as he strides in to the left-handed hitter's bat, the left-handed batter's box, excuse me, the switch hitter. Typically plays catcher, but DHing tonight. Seen him DH a couple of times this season. Don Sneddon likes to have his bat in the lineup, and for good reason. Hit .325 this season with Missouri State. .507 slugging percentage. First pitch to him from Machma, good block, I should say, from Pedro Pages. And it's 1-0. Mill is at .273 this season on the Cape. 2 walks for him. Everything else singles.
He's a guy we typically see against left-handers. He'll be behind the plate with someone like Luke Roscom would hit against a right-hander and be behind the plate like you have tonight. But the switch hitting Millis gets a chance to hit from the left side. Amditas catching, Millis DHing.
2-0 to him. Called strike on the inner half, although he did bend out of the way, and it's 2-1. 325 in 56 games this season, 68 hits, 13 doubles, 2 triples, and 7 home runs. So he does have a little bit of pop in that left-handed bat. 2-1, waved on and missed, and it's 2-2. I should say from both sides of the plate. First team All-Missouri Valley Conference this year for Missouri State. Splitting time between catcher and DH, so pretty comfortable spot for him. 2-2 to him. Runners at the corners with 2 outs, trying to add on to a 1-0 Gatemen lead. This one bounces, and the runner is going to move up from first to second, Austin Shenton. We'll have to see how they score that. Probably going to be a wild pitch as the pitch bounced well in front of the plate to Pedro Pages.
Now a big count here, 3-2. You're obviously still trying to be defensive, but first base open. He might go a little nasty. Bottom of the order here. Kreidler having his first at-bat coming up next. You got to remember also, a single in that big hole between the second baseman and the second base bag should score 2 runs.
3-2. Outside, walks him. Now it's bases loaded, 2 outs. First at-bat of the season for Ryan Kreidler.
Obviously a good take there. He didn't go too nasty. That was a fastball, but it was on the outer half, nowhere close. Nothing Millis can do to that, nothing he could pull. So a good take.
Ryan Kreidler striding in, the shortstop, third baseman combo from UCLA. Hit .233 this season with the Bruins. Numbers were down from a really good freshman campaign for him. Second season in summer ball for him. Played with Mankato in the Northwoods League last season. Hit .256. Home run, 13 doubles, 21 RBIs. And now the Hyannis pitching coach will come out and start to talk things over with Mike Machma as he started to lose control here late in the bottom of the first inning.
And they're bringing the infield in on the meeting here. So let's see if there's something up. Maybe they pull the infield in when they break from this. No action going on in the bullpen, so no reason to be killing time as the umpire comes out. But obviously a big crucial juncture in the game. It's only 1-0 right now, and if you can get out of this at 1-0, you're feeling pretty good if you're Hyannis. But also the base is loaded. Kreidler up now. You can't put him anywhere, so you got to expect some strikes if you're Ryan Kreidler. This is almost an easy situation for him. So we'll see. It was a tough season for Kreidler at UCLA offensively. He's got a chance to have a breakthrough here in his first at-bat on the Cape.
And he says he wants to become a more consistent hitter. That's why he's coming to the Cape League, and an opportunity to deliver in his first at-bat. A well-hit ground ball, or excuse me, a well-hit base hit will score 2 here. Austin Shenton with pretty decent speed coming from second base. Want to know the count to Kreidler right now. He's trying to do some damage in his first Cape at-bat.
Infield still at normal depth here. Seth Gray, the third baseman's in a little bit. Davis Wenzel way back in his shortstop position.
Now the pitching coach is going to come out and he's going to have a conference with the umpire now, and it looks like the trainer might come out for Hyannis. Something going on with Mike Machma's throwing arm. That's what it seemed to be what the pitching coach motioned for.
Yeah, and the umpire saying he can't come out twice before a pitch is thrown. So he's sent back to the dugout, and it's just the trainer coming out with the umpire, not something you see every day, but they have to bring out the trainer to make this legal. And again, it must be an injury because no one's stirring in the bullpen. This is not one of those classic time-killing traditions in baseball. It must be something they're actually checking on.
And I should correct myself. That's the manager for Hyannis, Chad Gassman.
He's a little upset still with the umpire that he didn't allow him to come out and check on his pitcher.
And they had some words the first time they came out. Getting some info now from our beat writer, Ian Vicero. We've been told it might be forearm tightness in that right throwing arm. This one, though, skied foul down the first base side, and it's 1-1.
Would make sense. It looks like that's what they were feeling out. The trainer was. Don't know how exactly you fix that during the game, but he's staying in there, so something must be going right.
Can't be too bad. Ball and a strike to Kreidler, bases loaded, 2 outs. The pitch swung on, looped into right center field, and it's going to get down for extra bases. Scoring from third is Lyle Lockhart. From second, it's Austin Shenton, and then coming in to score from third is Drew Millis. It's a bases-clearing double for Ryan Kreidler in his first at-bat as a Gateman, and it's 4-0 Wareham.
Well, that's a pretty good way to get your Cape League debut underway for Ryan Kreidler. We talked about him in the pregame show with those offensive struggles. That's the way to get it started. Gets a meatball from Makma and just absolutely shoots it to the gap. No chance that all three of those guys weren't going to score for the Gatemen. And we're going to have another check on Mike Makma here.
It's now a different trainer coming out, and Makma must be experiencing some sort of pain for there to be now 3 straight, or rather 1 pitch, 2 different visits, then another pitch, and now a third.
And
now
they're going to have to take him out, yeah.
Makma's going to come out now. We're going to have to see who Hyannis turns to this early out of the bullpen, and now the manager has been tossed. Chad Gassman is fired up, and he is following home plate umpire Mike Collier all the way down the first base line, and he is barking at him.
Yeah, we're going to have to check the rule book on this. It almost looked like Collier went out there and said, you have to take him out. This is the third check on an injury with only 1 pitch thrown in between. And obviously manager's not been happy with not being able to go out and check on him, and he is all kinds of hot right now.
He is getting in his face, saying we heard the word terrible at the very least. So Chad Gassman has been tossed from this game. His team down 4-0 here in the bottom of the first inning. Now the relief pitcher's just coming in. He just wants a ball to start warming up with. He's had very limited opportunity to even start warming his throwing arm.
Looks like Zack Cohen is going to be the guy to come in.
Zack Cohen, the right-hander from Central Michigan. He will be the new pitcher. We'll give you his stats coming up. A very interesting start to this game. 4-0 Gatemen, bottom of the first. Already a pitching change for Hyannis, and already Chad Gassman tossed for the Harbor Hawks. We'll be right back with more info on Zack Cohen coming up on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Mezzaluna is a family-run Italian restaurant celebrating 80 years in business. Located on Main Street in Buzzards Bay, Mezzaluna specializes in Italian cuisine, a lunch menu that's the best deal in town, and serves Cape Cod's famous prime rib every Wednesday and Saturday. Come enjoy the feast at Mezzaluna, the Italian family restaurant.
Soft as a Grape has 10 retail locations on Cape Cod, so even when you're cheering on your Gatemen at any away games, stop into a Soft as a Grape store for the best Cape Cod products. Stores located in Falmouth, Mashpee, Woods Hole, Hyannis, Chatham, Provincetown, Edgartown, Oak Bluffs, and Vineyard Haven. From beach day to every day, Soft as a Grape has you covered.
Whatever your goals may be, Joe Crespi and the Merrill Lynch of Taunton will work with you to develop a customized financial strategy designed to help you pursue what's important to you. Managing your wealth and listening to you is their top priority.
So Zack Cohen, the right-hander from Central Michigan, will come on in relief of Mike Mockma. Bottom of the first inning, and we've already had a lot of action, not only on the field, but also, well, on the field as well. But the manager, Chad Gassman for Hyannis, has been thrown out of this game by the home plate umpire. Mike Collier didn't appreciate the way Collier was not letting him check on his pitcher. But nonetheless, it'll be the right-hander, Zack Cohen, 6'4", 190 pounds, just finished up his sophomore season. A 5.32 ERA this year for the Chippewas. In 11 games, he pitched 23 2/3 innings, gave up 29 hits, 25 runs, but only 14 of them were earned runs, 27 walks, and 25 strikeouts. So the walk-to-strikeout ratio not exactly where you want it for Zack Cohen and opponents, batting .319 against the right-hander.
Gassman just now leaving the field was still giving it to the third base umpire all the way out the door down there down the left field line. So he is still bothered by this, and his team's in a big hole here in the first inning.
Big hole and still in some danger. Ryan Kreidler is in scoring position with 2 outs. It'll be Michael Amditis, the right-handed hitting catcher from Miami, who will stride in to face Zack Cohen. And during this warm-up period for Cohen here, saw Luke Roscom kind of keeping Connor Lund warm, because it's been a while since Lund's pitched. Not used to being a starting guy, not used to going more than 1 or 2 innings. So trying to keep the right-hander from USC warm and keep him ready for to pitch the top of the second, and he'll do so with at least a 4-run lead.
Yeah, and it's been opened up by the Gatemen here. As you mentioned, that Kreidler hit. Just a great way to get things started. And once again, we talk about playing with a lead. It makes everything so much easier. Gatemen strolled away from that in the last week, but the last 2 nights they've been getting onto it against a couple of good baseball teams.
And that 3-run double from Ryan Kreidler, he will get all 3 RBIs. Wasn't sure if the Drew Millis run was going to be from an advance on a throw, but our official score here will give all 3 RBIs to Ryan Kreidler. So already 3 RBIs for Kreidler, his first at-bat of the season. Now Michael Amditis trying to add to a 4-run lead here for the Gatemen. First pitch to him, misses the outer half, and it's 1-0. Amditis hitting .300 this season, 3 for 10, has an RBI to his credit.
I hope that's true.
Amditis will be leaving for summer school at Miami in a couple of weeks, as we've been told. So it'll be Drew Millis as well as Luke Roscom at the catcher position. Don Sneddon getting Amditis some time here before he heads back down to Coral Gables. 2-0. Misses outside, and Zack Cohen is in danger of losing his first batter. It's 3 balls and no strikes to Michael Amditis. .3-0. Get me over fastball, gets him over, and it's 3-1. So already in this inning, 3 hits for the Gatemen, a double from Idens, a single from Shenton, and a double from Kreidler. Pair of walks as well. Oliver Dunn and Andrew Vaughn, the only runner or the only batters to be retired, and Amditis was on his way down to first base, but that pitch hits the outside corner for a called strike, and it's 3-2. Payoff pitch from Cohen going on the pitch is Kreidler, but it's a swung on and missed strike 3 for Michael Amditis, and the side is mercifully retired for the Harbor Hawks. So an action-packed bottom half of the first inning, a 4-0 lead for the Gatemen, already on to the second pitcher for Hyannis, plus the Harbor Hawks manager has been ejected from this game. Rest of the way should be interesting, but probably not as interesting as that half inning. We're headed to the top of the second, a 4-0 lead for the Gatemen on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Folks, after the game, be sure to visit El Mariachi on Main Street for the best Mexican food in Wareham. The cantina provides a delicious late-night snack accompanied by fun cocktails.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development online at www.curry.edu.
Get Gatemen gear. Check out the latest styles and colors of your favorite Gatemen apparel. Also in stock, a large selection of Cape League items, including tickets to the All-Star Game. Test your pitching speed and pick up a souvenir ball, all at our merchandise booth.
Top half of the second inning here at Spillane Field, a 4-0 lead for the Gatemen after an explosion from the Wareham offense and an explosion from the Hyannis manager ejected Chad Gassman out of this game. But we'll stop talking about that because now finally Connor Lunn is back on the mound. It's been a while since we've seen him hit the rubber after that 1-2-3 top half of the first, and the first batter he'll face is the left-handed hitting third baseman from Wright State, Seth Gray.
We talked a lot in the pregame about a guy like Lunn moving from a closer to a starter role. Not something he's used to. Also not used to waiting that long in between innings. Let's see how he reacts here.
Well, the first pitch misses inside to Gray, and it's 1-0. Gray hit .286 this season on the Cape, a double and 3 RBIs. Coming out of the Horizon League in Wright State. This one popped up over the head of Connor Lunn. It's going to be a tweener. Kreidler tried to barehand it, but on with an infield single is Seth Gray.
Tough play there for Kreidler to make. I don't know if he would have gotten him anyway, but charging in one of those high loopers above Lunn's head, has to go barehand and just unable to make the play. Tough one for Kreidler. Hope that doesn't ruin his confidence for the rest of the game.
Just a tweener there for Lunn. Couldn't make the play coming off the mound. It's a tough play all around, really, as Pedro Pages, the right-handed hitting catcher, strides in from Florida Atlantic. First pitch to him is popped up into foul territory down the right field line. Andrew Vaughn giving chase, but he's going to run out of room there. Ball skipped out of, it looked like he might have actually kicked it under the gate over there down the right field line, but nonetheless, it's 0-1. Pages at .222 this season, 4 walks for him. So a pretty good on-base percentage for the right-hander from Florida Atlantic. The 0-1 to him. Fouled off once again to the right side, and it's 0-2. Runner at first is Seth Gray. Pedro Page is in the batter's box with Connor Lunn on the mound, protecting a 4-0 Gatemen lead here on the top of the second from Spillane Field. 0-2 just misses the outer half, and it's 1-2. Looping curveball just misses the inner half from Lunn, and it's 2-2 now after going down 0-2. Pedro Pages has the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Big hole on the right side of the infield pitch. Fouled off again, and it's still 2-2. Andrew Vaughn holding Seth Gray on at first base. Has some good speed, was 5 for 6 this season at Wright State in stolen base attempts.
Let's see what Lunn goes with here. It's a big strikeout guy, and Pedro Pages. Lunn is not, but half the outs that Pages has made this year have been strikeouts.
2-2 swung on, smacked toward first base, onto second for 1. Double play is turned. An impressive stretch from Andrew Vaughn and a low throw from Ryan Kreidler. So score it 3-6-3 on the double play. And that double play, as every double play this season from the Wareham Gatemen, is brought to you by TM Ryder Insurance Agency Incorporated. Package your home and auto insurance for the perfect double play. TM Ryder, steering and securing your course for insurance since 1877.
The left fielder, number 29, Todd Locke from Louisiana Lafayette.
So now 2 outs and the base is empty for Todd Lott. First pitch to him misses down and away, and it's 1-0. Lott this season 176 on the Cape. Does have a home run and a double, though, so when he hits the ball, it travels a pretty far way. The 1-0 from Lund. Looping breaking ball, nice pitch on the inner half, and it's 1-1. Todd Lott from Louisiana Lafayette, 6'4", 235 pounds. Pretty big frame. Waves and misses at a 1-1, and it's 1-2. 246 this season for the Raging Cajuns for Lott. In 27 games, he had 16 hits, 3 doubles, a triple, and 3 home runs. 1-2. Fastball called strike 3 on the outer half, and this side is retired. Second strikeout of the day for Connor Lund, as always brought to you by Lang, Exa, Forrest, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of your Wareham Gatemen. All right, coming up, we've got a sideline report from our very own Mary Orders. She talked with Connor Lund before the game today. She'll give us a recap of what Lund had to say right now from the first base side.
Gatemen Baseball in Wareham.
Thanks, guys. I spoke with tonight's starter Connor Lund before the game, and we talked a little bit about the difference between starting and coming out of the bullpen. When he said when he comes out of the bullpen, he tries to throw as many strikes as fast as he can, and when he comes to start, he's trying to stay in as long as he can, so he stays a little bit more reserved. We also spoke about how it is working with a new coach and Coach Jim Lawler, and he said it's very nice to get a new perspective. This is Lund's first start since early in his freshman year at USC, so it's been a little bit over a year and a half. We'll have to see how he does in the third inning. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Mary. So far, he's been pretty magnificent. A pair of 1, 2, 3 innings to start the day, and Lund has continued to show us good stuff, Cam.
Yeah, he certainly has. He's not a strikeout guy. He pitches to contact. He does that very well, as we saw after the leadoff single, gets a double play out of him. And he's located his pitches extremely well tonight, especially that fastball that we've mentioned has a little bit of a tail to it. And he's locating that on the outside corner to right-handed hitters and on the outside corner to left-handed hitters. So he's working both sides of the plate, and he's doing it really well tonight. And that's, I think, been the key to his success so far.
Gatemen trying to increase the lead for Connor Lund. Dominic Clementi will lead it off the bottom of the order for the Gatemen. 9-1-2 to up. Clementi, Idens, Dunn for Wareham. Zack Cohen still on the mound. The first pitch to Clementi is inside, nearly hit him, and it's 1-0. Clementi this season 0 for 15, trying to break out of a really tough stretch to start the year. 1-0 called strike outer half, and it's 1-1. But we know Clementi can hit. Hit .368 this season for the Michigan Wolverines out of the Big Ten. 44 games, 50 hits, 6 doubles, 5 triples, and 4 homers. Slugging percentage up at .574, a very nice mark for a smaller guy. In the last couple of times he's played, we've seen a little bit more pop in his bat, but he still just hasn't been able to find the gap quite yet. 1-2 misses upstairs, and it's 2-2. And if you look down that right field line, there's a pretty good gap down the straightaway right. They're kind of playing him to pull right now, they're playing him to go the other way. So if he can hit it on a line between second and first, he could have something doing, but he strikes out on a good breaking ball on the inner half from the right-hander Cohn. There's one down for the top of the order, and Jeremy Idens. Idens 1 for 1 today, much like he was yesterday at this time. Leadoff double and a run scored for him in the first. Coming in to score on an Austin Shenton single. First pitch to him this time around. Called strike on the outer half. He wasn't too terribly pleased with the call from home plate umpire Mike Collier, but it's 0-1. Idens a .353 average this season at UCLA. Checks his swing, but it's a called strike anyway, and it's 0-2. .353 with a .422 on base percentage and a .559 slugging percentage for Hyannis. 16 doubles, 4 triples, and 6 homers for the sophomore. 0-2 misses down and away in the dirt, and it's a ball and 2 strikes to him. Second season playing in a summer league, played with lacrosse of the Northwoods League last year, hit .240 with a pair of homers and 2 triples. 1-2 swung on tap toward the third baseman, Gray. He has to charge on the run, makes a nice throw in time, almost pulled Griffin Day off the bag, but he's able to keep his foot locked on the first base bag. And there's now 2 gone for Oliver Dunn.
That was a tough play by Gray there, just coming in the entire time. Throwing across your body is tough enough, but when you have to do it on the run, that's pretty impressive.
Oliver Dunn, one of only a couple of Gatemen players 0 for 1 today. Flied out to fairly deep center field in his first at bat back in the first inning. .1-0 from the right-hander Cohen, misses the outer half, and it's 2-0. Dunn with a pretty good eye at the plate, 33 walks to 46 strikeouts this season. This top of the lineup has been known for having a good eye between he and Isaac Collins. Skylar Hunter also walked quite a bit at Purdue this year, not in the lineup today, but was the leadoff hitter for a good while for the Gatemen. That's really what you want from the top of the order, though, is get on any way you can. You want to see a high on-base percentage, and Dunn had that this season at .426 for the Utah Utes. 66 hits, 9 doubles, 4 triples, and 4 homers for him. Out of Cottonwood High School in Salt Lake City. 2-2 swung on, pop foul down the left field line. Lott will give it a look, but it's going to get out of play. Third baseman Gray, the shortstop Wenzel, and Lott all trying to make it over there, but it was just hit a little bit too lazily for them to get there, and it's still 2-2. Swung on, hit toward the third baseman. Gray takes an odd hop, but he handles it. Throw on to first, just beats Dunn at the bag, and the side is retired. So after 4 runs coming across to score in the first, it's 1-2-3 for the Gatemen in the second. We're headed to the top of the third inning, a 4-0 lead for the Gatemen on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Since 1950, Morse Insurance has consistently offered the best insurance at competitive rates to generations of clients in southern Massachusetts. If you're frustrated with paying for what essentially feels like just a piece of paper, it's time for you to check out the one-of-a-kind client experience that only Morse Insurance can deliver.
The 2018 Cape League All-Star Game will be played at White House Field in Harwich Sunday, July 22nd. Game time is 6 p.m., gates open at 2. One highlight will be the Cumberland Farms home run hitting contest. There will also be an autograph session and a large merchandise village with items from many of the teams. Support the Gatemen in part by purchasing your ticket right now at the merchandise booth. Tickets are just $5.
Head on over to BB's Bar and Grill for food, drinks, and fun. Located just off Cranberry Highway, come in to sample the scrumptious fare or relax with a drink while enjoying live entertainment. The Gatemen thank BB's Bar and Grill for their support.
Nothing the lead for the Gatemen in the top of the third inning. Connor Lund back to the mound for Wareham, and he will deal with the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. 7-8-9 for Hyannis. Griffin Day, Colin Hall, and Taylor Garris. And this guy, Griffin Day, I watched him in batting practice, and this kid can rake. He hit a couple of bombs out to the left center field bleachers. A big frame for him. At 6'2", 220 pounds out of Yale. First pitch is a called strike on the outer half, and it's 0-1. 306 this season for Day at Yale. 52 hits, 6 doubles, a triple, and 7 homers for the Bulldogs. also pitches for the Harbor Hawks. One of those two-way guys. It seems to be a little bit more common coming out of a lower tier or a mid-major kind of. Do you consider the Ivy League a mid-major? I think you do, at least in baseball. So
I think you would.
A mid-major kind of conference, so it's a little bit more common.
Yeah, definitely. And the Harbor Hawks have quite a few of those guys on their roster this year. Not too many for the Gatemen. Cade Cavalli, one guy we'll probably see in the field at some point this year, but we don't know. Haven't seen him out there yet. But Hyannis, and I know you saw it during your research as well, 3 or 4 of those guys for them.
1-2, waved on and missed. Nasty breaking ball from Connor Lund, now dating back to the last inning, back-to-back strikeouts. And as always, brought to you by Lang, Exifaris, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of your Wareham Gatemen. Connor Lund is rolling, has faced the minimum thus far. And now Colin Hall, the left-handed hitting right fielder from Georgia Tech, strides in. Hall hitting .214 this season on the Cape. A double and 3 RBIs to his credit. This season with the Yellow Jackets, .283 in 56 games, 52 hits, 9 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs. 0-1 to the rising sophomore from Georgia Tech is fouled off, and it's 0-2. Pretty similar outing here to what Lund had the first time around for the Gatemen. Pretty low pitch count, working efficiently, getting ahead of hitters. The only thing different, 3 strikeouts now for Lund as he misses inside, misses a 4th by just a couple of inches, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, and in that relief outing and in the start so far, they've been easy innings. He's not putting guys on base, so he's not having high stress pitches and high stress situations. That certainly has to help.
1-2 fouled straight back, and the count holds. Lund with no strikeouts in his first appearance of the season. Now with 3 and hoping for a 4th here against Colin Hall. He's got him at a ball and 2 strikes with 1 gone in the top half of the 3rd inning. 1-2. Breaking ball didn't break quite enough onto the outer half, and it's even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and 2 to Hall. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, tap foul behind Amditis, and it's still 2-2. So Hall making Lund work here, kind of driving up that pitch count at least a little bit. Another 2-2 from Lund. Waved on and missed into the glove of the catcher, Amditis. Back-to-back strikeouts now for Connor Lund, 4 on the day, and all of them brought to you by Lang, Exifaris, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of your Wareham Gatemen.
The second baseman, number 10, Taylor Garris from Sanford.
Bottom of the order now for Hyannis. It's Taylor Garris, the second baseman from Sanford. First pitch to him here. He has up near the chest area, and it's 1-0. Garris at .333 this season with an RBI for the Harbor Hawks. Hit .257 for Sanford down in Alabama this year. .1-0 from Lund, skips to the catcher Amditis, and it's 2-0.
They were Sanford, another one of those surprise NCAA tournament teams, knocking off host Florida State in the Tallahassee Regional.
Of course, then Florida State knocked off by Mississippi State on a walk-off home run to end their season from Elijah McNamee, who has gone on to be one of the heroes of this NCAA tournament. Bulldogs out in Omaha for the College World Series. (2-1) called strikeout or half, and it's 2-2. Garris, a bit of a down season this year as a sophomore. Hit .333 as a freshman last year. 2-2, waved on and missed. How about 5 strikeouts for Connor Lund and 3 in the inning? He strikes out the side in order, and all of them brought to you by Lang, Forest, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of your Wareham Gatemen. Connor Lund is rolling, and so are the Gatemen. We're headed to the bottom of the third, but before we get there, after this break, we'll have our beat writer Ian Vicera with a check around the Cape League. That's coming up on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The law firm of Lang, Forest, and Bullard, providing families and businesses in the greater New Bedford community with legal services for 40 years. We look forward to serving you. For an appointment, call 508-992-1270. We invite you to learn more about the law firm of Lang, Forest, and Bullard by visiting our website, lxblaw.com.
It's all Chatham in this one. They're up 6-0 in the bottom of the 8th inning as the offense has pounded out 10 hits. Over in Cotuit, the Orleans Firebirds. Hello everyone, I'm Ian Vicera, the Gatemen beat writer, and it's time for your look around the Cape. In Brewster, the Chatham Anglers were winning 4-0 in the 7th inning before a 5-run bottom of the 7th for Cotuit. They lead now 5-4 in the bottom of the 7th. Over in Bourne, the Braves are winning 3-2 over the Harwich Mariners in the top of the 5th. And over in Falmouth, the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox lead the Commodores 1-0 in the top of the 6th. That's your Cape League update. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Ian. The score here from Spillane Field, the Wareham Gatemen 4 and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks 0. Gatemen try Harbor Hawks. First pitch to Andrew Vaughn, misses outside, and it's 1-0. Vaughn 0 for 1. Vaughn got off to an ultra-hot start, cooled off a little bit, and it'll be the dangerous 3-4-5 hitters for the Gatemen to try and extend the lead against the right-hander Zack Cohen on the mound for the Hawks. Then came back with a home run on Sunday in Game 1 against Orleans, and then another home run yesterday against Chatham. He's got 4 on the season to lead the Cape. Swinging against Mike Makamo back in the first. This one waved on a miss. Big swing from Vaughn, and it's 1.
He had to begin the weekend.
1-2 from Cohen, popped up into foul territory. Griffin Day racing toward the gate, but it's 1-2 the count to Vaughn. The pitch from Cohen. Breaking ball, slap foul again, and it's still 1-2. It's going to get out of play and bounce off a shed down there on the first base line, so Vaughn stays alive. The count's still 1-2.
I think overall there's just not enough to say about Andrew Vaughn. Even when he's in a slump, he's looking pretty good doing it.
It seems like they're pitching Vaughn outside, but we've seen opposite field power for him. Half of his home runs have gone to right.
And we've seen quite a few warning track power shots from him as well, so he's not been missing too much in this season. Even
for the strike zone for the home plate umpire Mike Collier to ring Vaughn up, and it's 2-2 now. Pretty good frame job, though, from Pedro Pages behind the plate.
It was ambitious, but he got it close to where the umpire definitely had to have a think about it.
2-2, that one was there. Called strike 3 on the season. 1-2 outer half, but not quite enough outer half. Andrew Vaughn not terribly pleased, but the third strikeout of the day for the right-hander Zack Cohen. And there's one gone and nobody on for Lyle Lockhart Jr.
I think Pages might have heard us there, as that pitch was almost in the same spot. But he gets it over there a little quicker and gets the call. Looked to be a bit onside. I can side with Andrew Vaughn on that one, but nonetheless rung up.
Lockhart, the switch hitter, batting left against that came in to score on the 3 RBI double from Ryan Kreidler back in the first. 0-1 to him here, misses well outside. The right-hander Cohen. First pitch to him is a called strike on the inner half, and it's 0-1. Lockhart walked and scored a single, part of the 1. Lockhart, .294 this season with the Houston Cougars. 1-1, misses outside. Pages holds the frame job for a, as we mentioned.
It up, we might see another ejection.
We've already seen one, Chad Gassman. The Hyannis, the call isn't changing Pedro, and it's 2-1.
Certainly some wishful thinking there.
Back in the first inning, if you're just joining us. Got upset with the home plate umpire, Mike Collier, and then proceeded to follow him around the field, just barking at him for a good while before he finally left the field. 3-1 upstairs at the chest, so Lyle Lockhart still doesn't have an official at-bat, but he's on base for the second time. Back-to-back walks for him. And there's a runner on at first with one out for Austin Shenton.
And we've been speculating about the Gassman ejection, and I think what may have happened is if you have too many mound visits during an inning, you're out. And Gassman's argument might have been the last two he was unable to go to the mound as the trainer had to go out both times, but not Gassman. The umpire made sure he did not go out there. But yet on that third time that someone went on the mound to check on Makma, he was ejected.
Could have been maybe that he made the attempt 3 times.
Could have been. Surely could have been.
The home plate umpire, Mike Collier, just didn't appreciate him just, frankly, not listening at some point.
Could not find a bend in the rule.
0-1 to Shenton, fouled off, and it's 0-2. Shenton, what else is new? 1 for 1 today, a run scored for him. The average was .522 coming into the day. That number heading in the northward direction with that single back in the first inning. Saw an interesting tweet from Codball. Said it's hard to keep up an over 400 average, but Shenton was able to raise it yesterday with a 3 for 4 day. That's just how hot this kid is.
He just keeps on moving. Run scored, RBI today. He's found a good way to keep it up. Now over 500 for him. He's a guy who can hit. 344 during the regular season as well.
1-2 the count with Lyle Lockhart leading off first, but it misses outside, and it's 2-2. And you're right, Cam. Shenton was no slouch at Florida International, 344 this season, but he was only second team All-Conference USA. There must be a really good third baseman that we don't know about in Conference USA, because it's hard to argue with Shenton's numbers that he shouldn't have been on the first team. The slash line, 344 average, 417 OBP, and then that one, though, waved on a miss. A good elevated breaking ball up in the zone from Zack Cohen. Second strikeout of 524, 11 doubles and 9 homers for him. The kid had an incredible season and continues to do it here on the Cape. Second strikeout of the inning, 4th of the day for the right-hander. And there's 2 gone and a runner on at first for Drew Millis.
The designated hitter, number 13, Drew Millis from Missouri State.
And it was Millis with a good take in the first inning to walk the bases loaded in front of that bases-clearing double by Kreidler. It's one of those guys we've been talking about. Hasn't gotten the average going too much yet. That'll come. But he's working the count. Takes a tough pitch there for a strike, though.
0-1 to Millis. As Cam mentioned, no official plate at bat today. Walked and scored a run back in the first inning. 3-2 pitch that just missed the outer half of the plate. Coming into the game, Millis at 273 with a pair of walks to his credit. Nothing in the way of extra base hits yet for him. Everything else has just been a single. Now the right-hander Cohn steps off, and Lockhart stares him down, and as he saunters back over to first base. Fairly healthy lead for Lockhart. 1-1 in there, and it's 1-2. Cohn shaking his head yes, that he wants to be done with this inning. Done with the limited threat on first that is Lyle Lockhart, but Drew Millis might have something else to say about that. The 1-2. Swung on, slapped down the third base line right in front of the third base coach, Mike Mobbs, down there. But it's 1-2. Chorus of "Come on, Drews" coming in from the Gatemen fans. Takes a deep breath as he looks at the sign from Mobbs. 2 misses upstairs, and it's 2-2. Ball and 2 strikes the count. Runner on at first is Lyle Lockhart. A 4-0 lead for the Gatemen, trying to add to it here. Twos across the board, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs for Drew Millis. Throw over, Lockhart a lunge back to first. He's in there pretty easily. The count holds at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Millis comes from a family of athletes. His dad, Andy, played football at Missouri Southern. His mom, Nell, played basketball at Missouri State. So he fouls that one off, stays alive 2-2. And his uncle Dave played football for Missouri State. So athletes all around for the Millis family. He's proven to be one of the better ones, at least right now. Had an excellent season at Missouri State this year, and of course in the prestigious Cape League this summer. 2-2 the count to him. Zack Cohen on the mound, the right-hander from Central Michigan, the pitch. Swung on, hit toward the third baseman. Gloved on a hop by Seth Gray. His throw on to first base is in plenty of time, and the side is retired. Gatemen leave one on after a Lyle Lockhart one-out walk, but they can't advance him from first base. Still a 4-0 lead for the Gatemen, though, as we head to the bottom of the fourth inning, the top of the fourth inning, coming up on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Stop by the Ansel S. Gurney House, where you will find a unique shopping and dining experience. Whether shopping for a special occasion or just to treat yourself, you'll find what you're looking for in one of the 11 themed rooms. There's also a cafe serving fresh homemade lunches overlooking the extensive gardens. The Ansel S. Gurney House is located at 403 County Road in Marion.
The Bay Point Golf Club offers a unique collection of 18 championship golf holes, a beautiful banquet facility, and a club host that has a fully stocked pro shop. The Bay Point Grill is a perfect place to grab a meal or watch a game. The course is located off of Onset Avenue in Buzzards Bay. The Gatemen thank you for your support.
Are you hungry? Visit the concession stand for some new menu items. Try fried dough, chicken fingers, or french fries along with your regular favorites, hot dogs, burgers, cold drinks, and ice cream. Proceeds from the concession stand support the Gatemen and the Wareham High DECA program.
Connor Lund back to the mound for his 4th inning of work. Gatemen protecting a 4-0 lead here against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks at Spillane Field. J.D. Rachi here alongside my broadcast partner Cameron Stewart. Lund will face Davis Wenzel to lead it off. He's faced the minimum through 3. Wenzel, the leadoff hitter, takes a first pitch strike on the inner half, and it's 0-1. Wenzel struck out swinging in his first at-bat back in the first inning. 0-1 to him. Hit well to center field. Idens takes a step back, but pretty much barely has to move. And routine fly ball to center for the first out of the inning. One up, one down for the Harbor Hawks, and now the designated hitter, Trevor Hover from Arizona State, steps in. Hover also 0 for 1 today. Grounded out to the shortstop, Ryan Kreidler, back in his first at-bat in the first inning. But he has been hitting well this season for the Harbor Hawks. .333, 3 RBIs. Had a bit of a rough go this season at Arizona State, just .227 for the Sun Devils. 1-0 check swing foul, and it's 1-1. .227 in 42 games, 17 hits, 5 doubles, 7 RBIs, 13 runs scored. As a freshman at Arizona State. Still impressive that he's even out on the Cape League. A diving stop by Oliver Dunn. His throw onto first, picked out of the ground by Andrew Vaughn. What a play from Oliver Dunn, and there's 2 outs.
What a play is right there. Oliver Dunn, who has struggled with the bat this year, trying to find ways into the lineup. That's a way to do it. Diving to his right, has to backhand it on a tough hop. It looked like it was going to eat him up, but he's able to get it and then has to rush the throw over there. And a good pick by Vaughn as well.
From his backside, what a play from Oliver Dunn. And now Eric Rivera will stride in. This one snagged by Dunn at second. What an end to the inning for Oliver Dunn in the field. And Connor Lund is through 4, facing the minimum. It's still 4-0 Gatemen as we head to the bottom half. Wareham trying to add to it when we come back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Northeast Maritime Institute's College of Maritime Science is a proud sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. If you're looking for a career at sea, look to NMI's program of education, adventure, and employment on northeastmaritime.com, America's premier 2-year maritime college.
Got legal trouble? Attorney Mark Deshays is here to help the greater New Bedford area with real estate and business law, estate planning, and probate. Visit him today.
Founded in 1854, the Wareham-based AD Makepeace Company is the world's largest cranberry grower and private property owner in eastern Massachusetts. The company supports organizations like the Wareham Gatemen and projects like the outdoor cranberry bog classroom that you may have passed on your way in. Visit admakepeace.com to learn more.
Bottom half of the fourth inning from Spillane Field, Gatemen 4, Hyannis 0. As we head to the bottom of the fourth, Zack Cohen back to the mound from Central Michigan for Hyannis. It'll be 7, 8, 9, Ryan Kreidler, Michael Amditis, and Dominic Clementi to bat for the Gatemen. Kreidler 1 for 1 today, and 1 for 1 in a big way. His first at bat as a Gateman, a bases clearing 3 RBI double for Kreidler. We'll try to replicate that performance here against their right-hander, Zack Cohen. First pitch to him is a looping breaking ball that misses above the belt, and it's 1-0. Kreidler, a pretty big guy, 6'4", 198. Bigger than normal strike zone for him. That one, though, misses inside as well, and it's 2-0.
And with that, that usually leads to a lot more strikeouts, and guys aren't able to draw as many walks. But a 348 OBP for Kreidler, as opposed to just a 222 batting average, he found his way with the walks.
2-0, that one clips the inner half, though, and it's 2-1. Very interesting hobby for Kreidler. How many hats do you own, Cam?
I own a lot. I'm a hat guy, much like Mr. Kreidler. Not near to his standard, but
130 hats in the collection of Ryan Kreidler.
For one hit.
I don't think I've ever seen 130 hats, like different hats in my life. The fact that he has 130
collection
in his closet, that's an impressive number.
And the other thing, that's tough to pack. You don't want to mess up the hats. I know for me, that's always tough to bring on a plane. The ones I bring are like 5 or 6 hats. That's pretty tough even then. I want to see how many he brought to the Cape with him.
We'll have to ask him next time we see him down on the field, maybe pregame or postgame.
And it's important. Is he a fitted hat guy, a trucker hat guy, maybe one of these new age dad hat guys? I'm interested to pick his brain about his collection.
Maybe we can have a little hat segment on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Cam Stewart and Ryan Kreidler with the hats. This one into the 5.5 hole and through into left field for a base hit. So Kreidler off to a hot start, much like Jeremy Idens, his UCLA teammate, got off to yesterday in his first appearance as a Gateman. He's 2 for 2, a double and a single through his first 2 at-bats. He's on at first with nobody out for Michael Amditis.
So just to confirm here, if Kreidler goes 3 for 3, is that a hat trick?
Oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did.
Every once in a while, JD.
Not sure if I like it, but I understand it.
But a tip of the cap, maybe.
Oh, now you're pushing it. Now you're pushing it.
I'm here all week, all season.
Is that fortunate for us?
Yeah.
Cam with the punniness. Here is an 0-1 count is to Michael Amditis. So puns and hats are the forte of Cam Stewart, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And first pitches.
I don't know about that.
Mostly puns and hats.
I really hope that we got your first pitch on the live stream so people know just how far outside or inside that would have been. Left-handed batter, you might have drilled him. Not going to lie to you.
I was trying to open up the outer half.
You opened it wide open.
Back him off the plate a bit.
It was double doors open.
Yeah.
2-1 the count to Michael Lamditis. Runner on at first is Ryan Kreidler. Nobody out here. Gatemen trying to add to a 4-0 lead here in the fourth inning. And now Zack Cohen has struggled to find the strike zone a little bit. And Pedro Page is going to come out and have a chat with him.
And this is tough here. You're at the bottom third of the Gatemen order, and you're in danger of walking the number 8 man ahead of a struggling Dom Clemente. But if Clemente comes up with 2 men on and only 1 out, even as a lefty, you don't want to load the bases. He's going to see a lot of breaking stuff to try and get him to ground into that double play, and you don't want to go back up to the top of the order with Jeremy Idens with the bases loaded. So he is going to get some strikes, even though they want him to ground into that double play. But first we got to get through Amditas.
Amditas having himself a pretty decent season this year on the Cape, so no slouch in the batter's box in the 8-hole 300 this year for Amditas. An RBI to his credit. Hasn't played a ton this year. But still having a pretty good season for the Gatemen. 3-1 the count to him with the runner on at first, and Kreidler the pitch. Misses up and in. It's a walk to Michael Lamditis, and there's runners on first and second with nobody out for Dominic Clemente.
So here is that situation. Clemente should expect a lot of pitches low and inside. But that's if Cohen can locate that. He completely lost his location, it looked like, on the last at-bat to Amditas. So who knows? Clemente might get something to hit here.
Clemente trying to break the 0 for 16 this season for the left-handed hitting outfielder from Michigan. Playing right field tonight. First pitch to him. Outside, and it's 1-0. Struck out swinging back in the second inning against the right-hander Cohen. Clemente just trying to take a deep breath here. Delivering a big spot, runner in scoring position. Nobody out, waves and missed at a 1-0 fastball, and it's 1-1. One and one the count. Kreidler with a short lead at second. Now he's off. Both runners go. Throw down to second base is not going to be nearly in time. So the double steal in effect for the Gatemen. And there's now runners at second and third with nobody out. And a 1-2 count to Clemente.
And that one's on Cohen, working very slowly. No awareness of the guys on base. I don't even know if Kreidler was going to go on that one. Looks like he was just dancing off second base. But as soon as he saw how slow Cohen was coming to the plate, he dashes for third. Amditas definitely wasn't going at first. But then, of course, Pages has to hold up the throw, and then Amditas has plenty of time to get down there to second base.
1-2, waved on and missed. Fastball out and away from Clemente. Continues to struggle here on the Cape. 5th strikeout of the day for Cohen. And now it'll be the top of the order, and Jeremy Idens striding in. He's 1 for 2 with a double and a run scored this evening. Idens having himself a great start to the Cape League season as he fouls that one off. 1 for 2 today, 2 for 4 yesterday. Hitting an even 500 now. Pair of doubles to his credit as well. Again, he led both games off with doubles here at Spillane Field. First one yesterday, clanked off the left center field wall, nearly went out of the park. It's now 0-2 to him. As the right-hander Cohen tries to get out of this inning unscathed with runners at second and third with just 1 out. So really a fly ball to center field, or really to any part of the outfield, hit well enough, will score at least 1 run. 0-2 to Idens, up at his eyeballs, and it's 1-2. See, I've got puns too, Cam.
That works.
I think so.
Alliteration in there too. Respect that.
See, we're coming together.
That's what we have to do.
I thought your puns were silly. You think mine are silly? We're on even playing ground now. 1-2 in the dirt.
I thought mine took more work, I think is the difference here, JD.
I don't know. I came up with mine on the spot, though. Like, the quickness. That's what we're about here at the Gatemen. It's quickness.
I didn't have that one premeditated.
I didn't
even know about the hats till today. We're on an even playing field.
Sure. We'll go with even.
Let this be a competition.
Well, everything is a competition with me, so good luck rest of the way this season.
35 more games. We got it.
2-2, misses inside. Coming home is Kreidler. Flip toward the plate from Pedro Pages is not even close. Now a 3-2 count. That'll be another run for Kreidler, or the first run of the day for Kreidler, the 5th run of the game for the Gatemen. And it's 5-0 Wareham in the 4th.
I like the way Kreidler is pushing the envelope here on the base paths. Did not get too far away from Pages, but a little lackadaisical with it. Kreidler's able to trot home in a feeble attempt to get it back to his pitcher, Cohen, covering.
So a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes from Zack Cohen to Jeremy Idens. Runner on at third is Michael Amditas, still just 1 out and a 5-0 lead for the Gatemen. This one swung on, looped into center field and down easily for a base hit. An RBI single for Jeremy Idens as Michael Amditas comes in to score from third. It's 6-0 Wareham in the 4th.
Infield moves in on that play. They weren't going to get it anyway, though. Just right on the knob by Jeremy Idens up the middle. And just keeps on rolling for the game. And that's been the theme of the day. Just keeps on rolling. 4 in the first, 2 more here in the 4th. It's that second time around against Cohen. It's doing some damage.
First pitch from Cohen is a called strike on the outside corner to Oliver Dunn, and it's 0-1. Dunn in the last half inning, flashing the leather. A diving stop on a 4-3 putout, and then a leaping stop on a line drive. Produced the last 2 outs of the last half inning, but now the count to him is 0-2. Dunn trying to play his way on to this full roster as Bryson Stott gets ready to head off to Team USA. Kreidler, another middle infielder, as well as Isaac Collins and Sahid Valenzuela will eventually become active on this roster in the next few days. 0-2 in the dirt, and it's 1-2. So on the active roster, 4 middle infielders: Kreidler, Stott, Collins, Dunn. Valenzuela waiting in the wings. There are going to be some roster decisions made in the next couple of days, next week or so, trying to figure out what the best way is to construct this team so that they can win down the stretch, even as Stott heads off to Team USA for a couple of weeks. 1-2 the count to Oliver Dunn. Runner on at first is Jeremy Idens. The pitch is swung on and popped up sky high on the infield. The first baseman, Day, barely has to move, and he makes the catch for the second out of the inning. All things considered, that's a pretty nice play for Day. Twilight here at Spillane. Ball, usually this is the kind of weather, the kind of cloud cover that balls can really get lost in, but he had a beat on it the entire way. And now Andrew Vaughn will stride in. He's 0 for 2 today with a pair of strikeouts. Struck out swinging in the first against Machma and looking in the third against the right-hander Cohen. This one, though, up in the zone, and it's 1-0. Vaughn coming into the day, hitting .313, pair of doubles, 4 home runs, and 10 RBIs for the big boy from California. 1-0 below the knees. Another frame job attempt that time from Pedro Pages. Unsuccessful, though, and it's 2-0. The count to pitch. Swung on, popped up right side. Day drifting into foul territory, has a beat on it, and it falls out of his glove. He had it the whole way, and he just couldn't squeeze it in time. And it's 2-1, and this is not the kind of hitter in Andrew Vaughn that you want to give a second chance to.
No, and maybe all those factors we were talking about what made the last play good may have doomed him on this one. Looking into the lights, the lights have turned on. Yeah, definitely don't want to give a second opportunity to Andrew Vaughn. Although 0 for 2 tonight with a couple of strikeouts, he can strike at any minute.
2-1 the count to him here, 2 outs. Bottom 4, 6-0 lead for the Gatemen. This one fouled off, and it's 2-2. And the Harbor Hawks have been pitching Vaughn to the outer half. He is better going pull side, but as we've talked about, he does have some opposite field power. 2 home runs this season to right field, 1 in Falmouth, as well as 1 here. 2-2. Going on the pitch is Idens. It'll get over his head and into right field, base hit. Idens all the way into third, standing up. A single from Andrew Vaughn keeps this inning alive, and there's runners at the corners for Lyle Lockhart.
Yeah, and with the runner going there in Idens, the second baseman, Garris, was bolting to the second base bag to try and cover, and it looked like where Vaughn hit that would have been right where he was positioned, so maybe a little bit of fortune there with the aggressive base running gets Vaughn a base hit, and now runners at the corners.
Now an eagle eye coming to the plate in Lyle Lockhart. No official at bat for him today. That's because he's walked twice. Walked and scored a run in the first, and then walked again back in the third. First pitch from the right-hander Cohen to Lockhart is a fastball. Called strike on the outer half, and it's 0-1. Lockhart, the switch hitter, batting left. Wearing the blue Gateway Tavern helmets, brought to you by Gateway Tavern, who provided the helmets this season for the Gatemen. This one flared foul, and it's 0-2. And another long inning here for the Gatemen. Not anymore, but we did see Connor Lund warming with Luke Roscom again over near the third base camera, or excuse me, the first base camera. Lund trying to stay warm as he'll head back out for the top of the fifth inning. 0-2 up at the eyeballs, and it's 1-2. See, it's not as fun when I can't say eyeballs.
Yeah, it's not the same ring without Jeremy Idens at the plate.
Got to find something for Lyle Lockhart.
Well, if it's a ball here, that'll lock things up at 2-2.
Oh, there it is.
Theft. That's what we call a theft right there.
Cam Stewart providing the zingers. J.D. Rachi here with you from Spillane Field. 6-0 lead for the Gatemen. Bottom half of the fourth inning, trying to add to it here. Runners at the corners with Lyle Lockhart in the batter's box. 2-2. Swung on, flared into left field. Lott has a beat on it the whole way, though, and makes the catch on a slight jog for the final out of the inning. But not before the Gatemen tack on 2 more. Run scoring from Ryan Kreidler as well as Michael Amditis on an RBI single from Jeremy Idens. We are headed to the top of the fifth inning, 6-0 Gatemen. Coming up, the top half on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Located in Wareham Crossing, Coastal Orthodontics, longtime sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen, knows the importance of a healthy smile. Dr. Kevin Oliveira and his team at Coastal Orthodontics are a patient-focused practice, delivering professional, effective orthodontic treatment based on the individual clinical needs of each patient, resulting in beautiful smiles in a timely manner. With 10 years of experience using Invisalign, Coastal Orthodontics uses the most up-to-date dental equipment.
Village Signs of Mattapoisett. They do it all, from logo design, trucks and buildings, to boats. Village Signs has proudly served Southern New England for over 35 years. Visit them at villagesignsinc.com for all your signage needs. The Gatemen wish to thank Patty Wild and the trustees of the John Wild Charitable Trust for their continued support of Gatemen Baseball in Wareham.
Top of the fifth inning from Spillane Field. A pink moose is on the loose at Spillane. Stuffed animal lost at the ballpark, but still a 6-0 lead for the Gatemen here against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. It'll be 4, 5, 6, Seth Gray, Pedro Pages, and Todd Lott to lead it off here against Connor Lund. And Lund, for being a closer, has worked deep into his outings both times now. 4 innings the first time around, here into his 5th full inning of work today for the Gatemen. First pitch to Seth Gray, misses upstairs, a little bit too high, and it's 1-0. Gray, the only hit of the day for Hyannis, a single back in the second. 1-0 swung on over the head of Oliver Dunn, couldn't get to that one, and it's into right field for a base hit. So now Seth Gray has apparently found the secret password, secret potion to beat Connor Lunn, and the rest of his teammates haven't. He's 2 for 2 today with a pair of singles, the only hits for Hyannis, and that'll give way to Pedro Pages, the catcher from FAU. Last time, though, Seth Gray reached on a single, erased on a 3-6-3 double play that came off the bat of Pedro Pages. And thus far, Connor Lunn has still faced the minimum. First pitch to Pages this time around is fouled off, and it's 0-1. Lunn 5 strikeouts through 4 innings thus far. Working into his 5th year, still just the 2 hits allowed. Oh, 1-2. Pages is fouled off back into the chain link fence behind home plate, and it's 0-2. Oh, 2 the count to Pages. Going to be a junior next season at Florida Atlantic. 0-2. Waved on and missed. A good fastball on the outer half. Some nice bite to it. The 6th strikeout of the day for Connor Lunn. And as always, brought to you by Lang, Exifaris, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of your Wareham Gatemen. Lunn is rolling here at camp.
He sure is. Still has only faced one batter over the minimum. Just the 2 singles. First one eliminated on a double play, and he's just had all his pitches working tonight. Hitting his spots. I know I've said that before tonight, but he's hitting his spots and he's working everything. He's not falling behind the hitters. As I say that, he falls behind Todd Lott, but typically has not done that tonight. Only put 2 guys on base.
Todd Lott 0 for 1 today, one of the strikeout victims for Connor Lunn. Struck out looking back in the second. The 1-0 to him this time around. Swung on, looped into left field, but it'll get foul down the left field line as Lyle Lockhart gave it a look, but it's 1-1. We talked about Andrew Millis's athletic background in terms of his family tree. Lott's is probably a little bit more impressive. You might have heard of his cousin Ronnie.
Decent player.
Hall of Famer, one of the best safeties ever in the NFL for the San Francisco 49ers. His other cousin, Anthone, also played in the NFL for the Bengals, so some serious athletic roots to live up to here for Todd Lott.
Kind of looks like a football player, too. Big kid.
6'4", 235. Did play football in high school at Trinity Christian Academy in Jacksonville, but decided to go the baseball route with his collegiate career. Fouls off a 1-2, and the count holds. Six to nothing Gatemen, top of the 5th inning. Hyannis just trying to keep this a respectable margin, trying to cut into it here. But Connor Lunn has been absolutely magnificent on the mound for Wareham. 1-2, fouled off again. Lott stays alive, and it's still a ball and 2 strikes. Lott pretty highly touted coming out of high school, a 20th round pick of the Cincinnati Reds in 2016. Decided, though, to forgo the MLB and head to Louisiana Lafayette, and that one is swung on and missed. Strikeout number 7 for Connor Lunn. Brought to you by Lang, Exifaris, and Bullard. They are getting the most out of that sponsorship tonight. Connor Lunn has been absolutely magnificent on the mound.
Hard to believe the last time he went out, 4 innings and no strikeouts. 7 tonight. He's really had it working.
First pitch this time to Griffin Day is a called strike. Good breaking ball on the outer half, and it's 0-1.
I think that's a great example of what I talk about. He's hitting his spots, and he's got all his pitches working. That's a breaking ball, first pitch, trying to get the man to chase and get him a little off balance to start things in the at-bat, but he clips it on the corner for a strike. and allows him to elevate the fastball on the second pitch.
Lund has looked comfortable, confident, calm on the mound. Efficient. Pitch count isn't all that high for him. Here comes the 0-2 today. Waved on and missed. Strikeout number 8 for Lund. And as always, brought to you by Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. Connor Lund is on a roll. 6-0 lead for the Gatemen.
South Coast Health, operators of Charlton Memorial Hospital, St. Luke's Hospital, and Toby Hospital, delivers an unmatched combination of clinical excellence with a personal touch. They are proud to serve as southeastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island's only not-for-profit health system, as well as the region's largest employer. South Coast Health, the best care plus something more.
One of the Gatemen's favorite places for their post-game meals is Cool Cone, where you can get anything from fried clams and fried chicken to an ice cream sundae, and then top it all off with a round of mini golf. Cool Cone, located on Route 6 on the Wareham-Marion line. Wareham House of Pizza has been serving Wareham and Marion for over 40 years with steak and cheese, pizza, and subs. Located in Shaw's Plaza, head on over for pickup or let them deliver to you.
New pitcher for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks here in the bottom of the 5th inning. A 6-0 lead for the Wareham Gatemen, and trying to keep it at just that 6-0 lead is the 6'4" left-hander from Texas State University, Wes Engel. First left-hander brought out by the Harbor Hawks today. Don't have a ton on this pitching staff.
And for Engel, it's been a good start in the Cape League. In his 2 appearances, a couple innings for each, no ERA, 4 strikeouts in the 4 innings he's pitched so far. And he is a guy who's not much known for strikeouts during the regular season, just 28 strikeouts in his 39 2/3 for the Bobcats of Texas State this year, but he's had it dialed up so far in the Cape League season.
And folks, we are experiencing some technical issues. So we will be heading offline for at least a little while here as we try to get those fixed up. We're so sorry. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. We'll keep you updated, or we'll update you as soon as we come back on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Folks, we want to apologize again for those technical difficulties. Austin Shenton reached on an error under the glove
Legacy Insurance Agency
of the second baseman
Main
Taylor
Street here in
Garris.
Wareham can
Looked
offer
like
you
he had a
coverage
pretty
for all your
easy
insurance
play, but
needs.
it trickled
We have the
into
bundle
right
discounts,
field.
the accident forgiveness,
Shenton on
the
for the
vanishing
second time
deductible,
today.
no loss, etc.
He's now
But
1
unlike
for
those other
3 with a
gimmick
single, a
companies, we can
strikeout,
quote you with
and
multiple
reaching on an
carriers.
error
So
here
forget the
in
lizard and the price
5th.
tool
And now
and
it's
come
Drew
talk to a
Millis for the
professional.
first time
We'll
today,
help you
batting from the
find
right
what's
side
right
of
for
the
you.
plate. And the first pitch to him from the left-hander Wes Engel is down and in for a ball. It's 1-0. Millis today 0 for 1, walked in, scored a run back in the first, and grounded out to the third baseman Seth Gray back in the 4th. First pitch to him this time around, looping breaking ball in on the inner half, and it's 0-1. Pitch looked like it was around 60 miles an hour. Big break on it, but Kreidler didn't want any part of it. Austin Shenton being held on at first by Griffin Day. And the 0-1 pitch. In the dirt, blocked by Pages behind the plate. Good block, and it's 1-1. One and one the count, 1 out. Runner on at first with Ryan Kreidler in the batter's box. Looping breaking ball fouled off. A little bit too far in front of the pitch that time. Out of the hand of Engel, and it's 1-2. Engel had a bit of a tough season this year at Texas State. ERA floating pretty high. One-two from him. Misses upstairs. Spillane Field. This game started at 6:30. We're already all the way up to 8:13 here in just the fifth inning. Some big innings for the Gatemen. Of course, the ejection of the Hyannis manager back in the first. 3-2, runners off. Swung on it, looped up the middle and into center field for a base hit. Austin Shenton will easily pull into third on the single from Ryan Kreidler. He's now 3 for 3 on the day and continues to impress here on the Cape.
Yeah, just gets an inside fastball here, right on the knob, right up the middle. I don't know what Engel was trying to do there, trying to sneak one past him for a guy who has looked so comfortable at the plate today. 3 for 3 now, but he made easy work of that pitch.
Michael Amditis, the right-handed hitting catcher, strides in. He is 0 for 1 today, struck out swinging back in the first and then scored after walking in the fourth. First pitch to him. Looping breaking ball, misses the inner half a little bit too far inside, and it's 1-0. Coming into this game, hitting .300. 3 for 10. He's now 3 for 11 this season after the one strikeout today. But the on-base percentage has gotten a little bit of boost with that walk-in run scored. Didn't like that call from the home plate umpire, Mike Collier. Thought that pitch was too far outside, but it's 1-1. Over the head of the second baseman and into right field, a base hit. Shenton in to score from third. It's an RBI single for Michael Amditis, and it's 7-0 Gatemen in the fifth.
And these are some really hard hit balls from the Gatemen. That last one by Kreidler up the middle was eerily similar to this one by Amditis, just off to the right. And Garris had to leap for it, had no chance at it. But they are really getting hold of it. Let's hope it turns over to Dom Clemente, too, could really use getting a hold of one.
Clemente, one of just 2 guys today not to reach for the Gatemen. Oliver Dunn, the other. Dunn 0 for 3. Clemente 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. First pitch from the left-hander Engel to the left-handed hitting Clemente is a breaking ball in the inner half, a called strike, and it's 0-1. Ryan Kreidler on at second. Michael Amditis on at first. Just 1 out here in the fifth. Gatemen trying to add on to an already impressive 7-0 lead. Engel looks back, now steps off. The shortstop Wenzel looked ready to receive a pickoff attempt, but Kreidler was far too close to the bag for anything of that sort from Engel, and he just stepped off and stared him down. Still looking at him. Kreidler does have a steal today, as does Amditis. 0-1, misses inside, and it's 1-1. It was a very similar situation to this back in the fourth inning. Kreidler caught Zack Cohen sleeping at the bat, or on the bump, I should say. Stole third, and then in the confusion, Pages lost the ball that missed the zone to Dominic Clemente, and Amditis was able to move up with a stolen base from first to second as well. 1-1, drops in there for a called strike right at the knees, and it's 1-2. One and two the count, 7-0 lead for the Gatemen. Pitch, check swing, missed the strike zone. Doesn't look like there's going to be an appeal, and it's 2-2.
That's a good pitch on the outside corner. Clemente, who's already struck out swinging twice today. Got to imagine that's a tough one to leave on the outside corner. Started at it, but holds up. But for a guy who was such a good hitter during the regular season for Michigan, that's his instincts coming into play right there.
2-2 to Clemente. Wasted foul, and it's still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pretty good job from Clemente to foul off a good pitch on the outer half that he really couldn't do much with, but it was a little bit too close to the strike zone for comfort. So he had to offer at it, and it's now 2-2. Pages comes back, from having a little bit of a conference here with the left-hander Wes Engel on the mound. Engel on the hook for at least one run so far. Well, really the runner reached on an error, so he isn't on the hook as much as he did allow the hits that allowed him to score. One run, it was unearned though because Shenton did reach on the error. 2-2 the count to Clemente, one out here in the fifth. The pitch from Engel. In the dirt, good take from Clemente, and it's 3-2. Trying to break out of that 0 for slump, 0 for 17 for Clemente this season. Mdidis at first, Kreidler at second. One out, bottom of the fifth inning. 7-0, the Gatemen lead from Spillane Field. Payoff pitch. Swung on, fought off toward third base. Looking at second, going to be no play there, and Clemente just beat at the bag. I mean, barely beat at the bag. He was hustling down the first base line, but 5-3 on the putout of Dom Clemente, but Kreidler and Mdidis both move into scoring position with 2 outs for a very dangerous hitter in Jeremy Idens.
Yeah, Seth Gray was caught in no man's land there. He has to come on the infield grass to get it. Thought he might even have a play at second, so he fakes over there. By the time he's going to first, as you said, it's a tough play for him as Clemente is hustling out of the left-hand batter's box. That's what made it so close.
First pitch to Idens is inside, and it's 1-0. 2 for 3 today is Idens, the UCLA Bruin. A double and a run scored in the first. A single and two RBIs back in the fourth. 1-0. Sliced foul over the Gatemen dugout, and it's 1-1. Got to figure another well-placed single here could score 2 again. The UCLA guys, Idens and Kreidler, off to a great start. Also a couple of pitchers we haven't seen yet, and Ryan Garcia and Jack Ralston coming over from the UCLA program. This Gatemen roster now loaded with Bruins. Should correct myself. Idens with just 1 RBI in his last at-bat. Kreidler came in to score on the wild pitch. Meanwhile, Mdidis came in to score on the RBI single from Kreidler. This one hit into the 5.5 hole and under the glove of Wenzel and into left field, a base hit. Mdidis trying to score, and he will throw back to first. In there safely is Idens. A 2 RBI double for Jeremy Idens, and the Gatemen lead it 9-0.
And this is a good throw in from left field by Todd Lott. If this gets through it, they might have a chance, but it's Gray that cuts it off and tries to make the ambitious play at first base, and it costs them. They don't get him at first, another run comes in.
And I still think that they could have had him, even though it was cut off by Gray, if he had just had a little bit more awareness and thrown to home. Mdidis isn't the fastest guy in the world. You might have still had him at home plate. But now a 9-0 lead for the Gatemen. Runner on at first is Jeremy Idens, with Oliver Dunn in the batter's box. He's 0 for 3 today, along with Clemente, the only Gateman not to reach. .1-0 to him is waved on and missed, and it's 1-1. So now the guys from UCLA, 3 for 4 for Idens, 3 for 3 for Kreidler, each with 3 RBIs. They have provided the offense today for the Gatemen. 1-1. Changeup misses downstairs, and it's 2-1. Dunn struggling offensively, but made those 2 really nice plays in the field a couple of innings ago. 2-1, nearly came in and hit him. It'll get over his head, and Idens will move up to second on the wild pitch. So things continue to go south here for Wes Engel. He's already given up 3 runs, 2 of them earned in this half inning. And this Gatemen lead continues to grow. It's 9-0 here in the fifth. Three-one. Swung on, popped up into left field and shallow. Lott racing in. Now Wenzel racing back, but Lott calls him off and makes the play to mercifully end the inning once again for the Harbor Hawks. 3 more runs come across to score. An RBI single for Ryan Kreidler and a 2 RBI single for Jeremy Idens. We're headed to the top of the 6th inning. It's 9-0 Gatemen. Hyannis coming up on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Beach House Grill at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa is the perfect spot for a seaside lunch or evening clam bake. A proud member of leading hotels of the world.
One of the area's best restaurants is located right up the street, Brewfish Bar and Eatery. Brewfish offers 20 rotating craft beers on tap and creative pub food. Check out their off-the-menu brunch with a Bloody Mary bar and $5 mimosas on Sundays. Join us for outdoor dining and drinks under the tent, or for live music every weekend, located on Route 105 in Mary.
Beat the heat and join us at Waterways, a water experience unlike any other this side of the bridge. Open daily, head over to the water park on Route 28, the Cranberry Highway.
Back with the top of the 6th inning. It's a new pitcher for the Gatemen on in relief of Connor Lund. It'll be the right-hander from Southern Mississippi, Cody Carroll. Carroll piggybacked a start a couple of days ago in Harwich. Easton Lucas got the start for the Gatemen. 4 innings for Lucas and then 4 innings for Cody Carroll. He looked pretty good in that one. Had a pretty good season this year at Southern Miss. 2.23 ERA for Carroll this season in 16 games. He pitched 32 1/3 innings, gave up 20 hits, 11 runs, 8 of them earned, 13 walks, 33 strikeouts, and the batting average against pretty good at 177.
And Carroll, one of these big fastball guys, 4-seamer and a 2-seamer. 2-seamer is that out pitch for him. And that slider is something he's really been working on at Southern Miss this year. May see that featured with a couple of strikes as well. Not throw very hard. He just lives down in the low 90s, which, as Don Snedden said in his interview with Mary Orders yesterday, that's something that's different between the Cape League and college baseball. As a guy like Carroll is a starter in college baseball, and once you get to the bullpen, you're seeing guys that can only throw in about the 80s. But in the Cape League, those guys get moved to the bullpen as well. So you may see some 90s from the starter, and then back into the 90s in the bullpen. So that's a big difference between college to the Cape League, and then, of course, off to the minors for most of these guys in the next year or two.
So Cody Carroll, the pitcher, on in relief of Connor Lund. And we want to close the line here on Connor Lund. It was a magnificently sparkling performance from Lund. 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs, and 8 strikeouts for the right-hander from USC. Faced 1 over the minimum. The first pitch from Cody Carroll to Colin Hall, the 8-hitter for Hyannis, is low, and it's 1-0. Hall, one of Carroll's strikeout victims. 0 for 1 today. The 6th. That's how lopsided this game has been from Spillane Field tonight. Gatemen are already seeing their 3rd and 4th at-bats of the day. Meanwhile, Colin Hall just seeing his 2nd here, and I should say, from up here. Bottom half of the 6th inning, a pinch hitter in for the Gatemen as Parker Phillips skies one into right field in the place of Andrew Vaughn for the first out of the inning. So Wes Engel is back to the mound. The left-hander from Texas State gave up 3 runs, 2 earned back in the last inning in the 5th. Gatemen up 9-0 here in the 6th inning. The first time we're going to see Lyle Lockhart batting from the right side of the plate. Seen him strictly left-handed thus far, the switch hitter here against the left-hander Wes Engel. First pitch is a fastball, called strike on the outer half, and it's 0-1. Looping curveball, good pitch on the inner half from Engel, and it's 0-2. Lockhart 0 for 1 officially today, but has walked twice and scored a run. 0-2. Outside and high, and it's 1-2. Austin Shenton in the on-deck circle. Shenton 1 for 3 today, but has scored 2 runs. 1-2. This is inside, skipped its way to the plate, and it's 2-2. Engel up to 36 pitches now. Through 1 1/3 innings of work. Pitch to Lockhart, misses high, and it's 3-2. The Hyannis pitchers have struggled from the get-go. Mike Mockma removed from the game with some forearm tightness back in the first. That ended up getting their manager ejected. Then Zack Cohen went for 3 1/3. He gave up 2 runs. And now a pitch high to Lyle Lockhart, a 1-out walk to him, and the Gatemen are in business once again for the most dangerous hitter in the Cape League in Austin Shenton.
The third baseman, number 12, Austin Shenton.
Shenton hasn't hit the ball too hard tonight, but for a night like that for him, still has a single, RBI, run scored, reached on an error. What else is new?
Was named the Cape Cod Baseball League Player of the Week last week. Pitcher of the week was Deacon Metters from Cotuit. And Shenton certainly earned that honor. You got to figure Andrew Vaughn was also held up in pretty high consideration, considering the home run and RBI numbers for Vaughn, but Shenton eclipsing him with a fantastic batting average. Not to mention that Shenton also has a home run this season, the walk-off in Game 1 of the doubleheader back on Sunday against Orleans. 1-0, swung on, floated into left field, fairly deep, carrying back toward the track, but Lott is there to make the play for the second out of the inning. It's funny how balls carry it here at Spillane. A lot of the times with left field being so deep, you automatically assume they're just going to hang up, but that one brought Lott pretty far back. So a well-hit ball, relatively well-hit ball from Austin Shenton. And now Drew Millis, the switch-hitting DH, will step in from the right side to face the left-hander Wes Engel. First pitch to him, catches the outer half, we're called strike, and it's 0-1. Engel in his second full inning of work. Gave up 3 runs, 2 earned back in the last in the 5th. 0-1. Breaking ball misses low, and it's 1-1. Runner on at first is Lyle Lockhart Jr. 3 walks on the day for Lockhart. On base percentage is sky high, 1 for 4 yesterday.
He's found his ways on. Sure has.
One. Breaking ball low, and it's 2-1. So reaching 3 out of 4 times today, plus 1 out of 4 yesterday. He's up to a .500 on base percentage through his first 2 games of the season for the Gatemen. 2-1 to Millis. who has also walked and scored a run today back in the first inning. This one chopped on a couple of hops to Davis Wenzel. He'll go the short way to second for the final out of the inning. So finally a quiet inning for the Gatemen. Nothing coming across to score. They leave a runner stranded at first. We're headed to the top of the seventh, still 9-0 Wareham here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. This special weekly celebration of Red Shirt Fridays is sponsored by 47 Brand, HP Hood, Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority, Advanced Embroidery, and the Cape League. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
For a nostalgic Cape Cod vacation experience, head to Bay Motor Inn, where guests are treated like family. Located in the heart of Buzzards Bay Village, this 1950-style cottage colony still provides you with up-to-date amenities. The Gatemen thank the Bay Motor Inn for their support. For a nostalgic Cape Cod vacation experience, head to Bay Motor Inn, where guests are treated like family. Located in the heart of Buzzards Bay Village, this 1950-style cottage colony still provides you with up-to-date amenities. The Gatemen thank the Bay Motor Inn for their support.
Located along the Cape Cod Canal, Keystone Place the area's newest rental independent living, assisted living, and memory care community. With some of the area's largest apartments and an ultra-inclusive monthly service package, Keystone Place is a life-fulfilling retirement community unlike any other. Distinct assisted living and memory care programs provide personal care services according to each individual's needs. Discover Keystone Place, the best option for meeting the care and support needs of seniors on Cape Cod.
For a nostalgic Cape Cod vacation experience, head to Bay Motor Inn, where guests are treated.
Some defensive replacements for the Gatemen in the top half of the seventh inning. Skylar Hunter on to replace Jeremy Idens out in center field. Cody Carroll in to pitch his second inning of work. First batter he'll face is Eric Rivera from FAU. The first pitch to him misses low, and it's 1-0. So Idens' day might be done. We can't really tell. It might be still Dominic Clementi out in right field, although Idens in right. Idens is in right field, so Dom Clementi's day is done. Hunter will move into Clementi's spot in the order, while Idens will stay at the top. So Idens over to right. Hunter into center field. As Dom Clementi continues to struggle, now up to 0 for 18 on the season with an 0 for 3 day today, but Idens has been incredibly productive in his second game with the Gatemen. 2-0, nips in there for a called strike, and it's 2-1.
And just to finish off defensively here, of course, Parker Phillips moving into first base, taking over for Andrew Vaughn, pinch hitting last inning.
So a trio of defensive movements here for the Gatemen. They hold a 9-0 lead. Now it's 2-2 to Eric Rivera. Rivera 0 for 2 today, grounded out to shortstop back in the first, and then lined out to a leaping Oliver Dunn in the fourth. 2-2 to him. This is outside and low. Pretty good block there from Mditas, even if he didn't have to go all out for it. And it's a full count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Payoff pitch from the lanky right-hander Carroll. Here it comes. Breaking ball swung on, popped up foul down the right field line. Parker Phillips has a beat on it the whole way and makes the play for the first out of the inning. One up, one down for the Harbor Hawks. Here in the seventh, it's been a pretty much futile effort here. Just 2 hits across for Hyannis. Seth Gray trying to change it here. First pitch to him is in there for a strike, and it's 0-1. And Seth Gray really doesn't have to change anything. He's the only one with hits today for Hyannis. He's 2 for 2 with a pair of singles. Quickly 0-2 on him, though, here. 1 out, top 7. Cody Carroll on the mound trying to retire Gray for the first time today. The 0-2 swung on, hit back up the middle. They won't do it into center field. Another base hit. He's 3 for 3 with a trio of singles.
This man just finds a way. None of those singles were hit very hard. And this one, just a high hopper over Carroll's head. That was just far enough in the middle that neither Dunn nor Kreidler could get to it. But it'll look like a line drive in the box score tomorrow.
He's having himself a very nice day. Came into the day hitting .286. That average will definitely go up with a 3 for 3 day thus far. First pitch from Carroll to Pedro Pages is in the dirt. But a good stop from Amditis, who has found himself playing a very good defensive catcher this season, and it's 1-0. We knew coming in that Amditis was pretty good behind the plate, but he's also been good at the plate with the bat this season. 1-0 called strike on the inner half, much to the dismay of Pedro Pages, and it's 1-1. Amditis today at the plate, 1 for 2, 2 runs scored, a walk, and an RBI for him. Trying to finish up his Cape season strong as he's headed back down to Coral Gables pretty soon. Not sure exactly when he'll head back down there for summer school, but he's left an impression on this Cape League at the very least. 2-1, the pitch from Carroll is swung on, slashed foul down the right field line, and it's 2-2. Pages today, like everybody except for Seth Gray, is 0 for 2. Grounded into a double play, 3-6-3 in the second, and struck out swinging against Connor Lund back in the fifth. 2-2 pitch. Just misses the outer half, and it's 3-2. It's a pretty good pitch there from Cody Carroll on the outer half, trying to get Pages to chase. Full count once again, payoff pitch from Carroll. Swung on, roped into the 3.5 hole and into right field, a base hit. Idens charges, comes up throwing, stopping at second is Seth Gray. And now there's runners on first and second for the first time today. For the second time today. Second time in the last 2 innings with just 1 out. And it'll be Todd Lott to step in from the right-handed batter's box. So now Hyannis up to 4 hits on the day, 3 for Seth Gray, 1 for Pedro Pages. And the first pitch to Todd Lott is waved on and missed, and it's 0-1. Lott today not as lucky as his teammates. 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts, 1 looking in the second and 1 swinging in the fifth, both against Connor Lund. 0-1 from Carroll. Is a breaking ball, good slider that time, and it's 0-2. Oh, 2, 1 out, runners at first and second here for Hyannis. They trail at 9-0 from Spillane Field. The pitch misses low, another good block from Amditis. That slider has had some good break to it, breaking away from right-handed batters, and it's 1-2.
See if he might go back to it here. Doesn't get Lott to chase after it. As you mentioned, it's looked very good tonight. It's a great 2-strike pitch to have in your arsenal.
Another 2-strike pitch. Breaking ball fouled away, and it's still 1-2. Lott, as we mentioned, struggled a little bit this season at Louisiana Lafayette, and he's struggling here in the Cape League. Just 176 coming into the game, 0 for 2 today. The 1-2 to him is waved on and missed. Another great pitch from Gatemen pitching against Todd Lott. It's the first strikeout of the day for Cody Carroll. And as always, it's brought to you by Lang, Exa, Forest, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of your Wareham Gatemen.
And Carroll does live on the outside there in the last 3 pitches of the at-bat, all with 2 strikes. Is that breaking ball, that slider that gets him.
First pitch to Griffin Day has him jumping out of the way, and it's 1-0. Day, much like Lott, 0 for 2 today, a pair of strikeouts swinging for the big first baseman from Yale. One 0. Waved on and missed. Nasty bite on the slider, and it's 1-1. One ball, one strike, 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Top of the 7th inning from Spillane Field. The 1-1. Breaking ball misses outside, and it's 2-1. He's really working that breaking pitch on the outer half now.
It's almost like a proving ground for him here. 9-0 game in the 7th inning. He says, I'm just going to keep letting this thing ride and see what I got from it.
2-1. Swung on and missed. Fastball on the inner half. Switches it up a little bit. And the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And that was that two-seamer we've heard about. A little bit of dip at the end, but it's still coming in hard. Can be a lethal pitch.
2-2 the count from the slender right-hander, Cody Carroll. 2 outs, the pitch. Swung on, hit toward the shortstop, Kreidler. He'll go the short way to second with Dunn covering, and the side is retired. So 2 hits, the most of any inning today for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, but they leave them both stranded. Still 9-0 Gatemen. We have a report coming from our sideline reporter, Mary Orders, who got to talk with Coach Don Snedden and who has a couple of thoughts on today's big 9-0 lead.
3, 2, 1.
I spoke with head coach Don Snedden between the 5th and 6th innings. It was just after the Wareham retired starter Connor Lunn, and he said that he was very impressed with Lunn's outing. It was actually the exact outing they wanted him to have, with just under 70 pitches over 5 innings. He said in particular he was very impressed with his curveball, and he says that he has a pretty sneaky fastball. When asked about the position players, he said, quote, wow, great game, end quote. He specifically mentioned the UCLA players for giving the Gatemen an extra shot in the arm with some key hits and some stolen bases. We'll see what the Gatemen can do in these next few innings to get this win. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Mary and Cam. The UCLA players have definitely been impressive today. Jeremy Idens as well as Ryan Kreidler have been stellar for the Gatemen.
Yeah, 6 for 7 tonight for those Bruins, and they have just kept the charge going. Idens at the top of the order, Kreidler down at the bottom third. I was talking about this in the pregame show today. He's a guy that gets on base, so I like having him down there and moving Shenton up to the 5-hole. But he's found a good way to get on base today. 2 singles and a double, 3 RBI to his name as well. So to get that production from the bottom of the order is always great for any team, but also for the Gatemen. They have really struggled, those top 2 guys this year, and it seems like they found someone in Jeremy Idens who can really give a kickstart to the offense at the top of the order.
And it will be Ryan Kreidler to lead off this half inning for the Gatemen. Bottom of the 7th, and it's a new pitcher on the mound for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, the right-hander from Butler, Ryan Pepio. Pepio running at 6'3", 205 pounds out of Westfield, Indiana, and had himself a great year this season for the Butler Bulldogs. A 2.62 ERA in 15 games with 12 starts. He pitched 75 2/3 innings, 55 hits, 23 runs, 22 of them earned, 32 walks, and 101 strikeouts in 75 innings. This kid knows how to pitch. He's aggressive, and he gets in front of you early, and he wants to strike you out.
Some real impressive numbers for him. And for all you basketball fans, the most impressive stat out there, yes, Butler has a baseball team.
Not the greatest team out in the Big East,
but they're there.
They are there, and Pepio is very
conference.
impressive for them. First pitch gets Kreidler to swing and miss, and it's 0-1. We talked about the impressiveness of this UCLA part of the order. Kreidler 3 for 3 today, 3 RBIs, a double, a single, and 2 runs. And you kind of alluded to this in the pregame camp. This is a guy that kind of struggled this season at UCLA. He's having a good bounce-back night tonight.
He sure is. Just a 222 average on the year. He's been really swinging it pretty good tonight. It's definitely an adjustment coming to the Cape League, but as far as our very small sample size so far, just not even through his first full game, he's looked adjusted.
Ball and 2 strikes to him now from Ryan Pepio, the right-hander from Butler. The pitch misses inside, nearly hit him, even though he did bend out of the way. And it's 2-2. So with Pepio in to pitch for Hyannis, that ends the day for West Engel. 2 innings, 3 runs, 3 hits. Only 2 of the runs earned, though. 2-2 to Kreidler. Misses low, and it's full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Kreidler looking to continue his perfect day, 3 for 3. His first game as a Gateman. 3-2. Spoiled foul, and it's still full. Not a ton of extra base hits today for the Gatemen. Another impressive part of this game. It's been, as you've called in the past, station-to-station baseball for Wareham, and they've just manufactured runs. 3-2, outer half, called strike 3. First strikeout of the day in the first at bat for the right-hander from Butler, Ryan Pepio. And we mentioned this kid strikes out a lot of guys, 101 strikeouts in just 75 2/3 innings. He sets down Kreidler for the first time today, and Michael Amditis strides in from the right side.
And to build off that point you were saying, with not a lot of extra base hits, station-to-station baseball, that works when you're as efficient as the Gatemen have been today. 6 men left on base doesn't look that great, but when you've scored 9 runs through your first 6 innings, that's not too bad. They haven't been leaving guys on. 6 of those 9 runs have come with 2 outs, so they've been making the most of it so far tonight.
0-1 to Amditis is trickling down the third base side, but foul. Amditis 1 for 2 today, struck out swinging in the first, walked in, scored a run, also stole a base in the fourth, and then singled and scored a run back in the fifth. That single was an RBI for him. The 0-2 to him. Fastball misses upstairs and outside as well. A good waste pitch from Pepio, and it's 1-2. The 1-2 to him. Called strike 3, outer half once again. Strike zone maybe expanding a little bit here in the late innings. Back-to-back, looking strikeouts for the Gatemen. There's 2 down for Skylar Hunter. Hunter came in as a defensive replacement back in the last inning, getting his first licks today. Batting in the place of Dom Clementi, who's 0 for 3. First pitch from Pepio slips on the delivery. Still a decent breaking ball. Didn't miss by too much, and it's 1-0.
Yeah, usually when those guys slip out, it slips out of their hands as well, and it looks like 50 Cent's first pitch with the Mets a couple years ago, but that one dropped pretty close to the strike zone.
The 1-0 from Pepio. Called strike on the inner half, and it's 1-1. Almost sometimes we'll see him miss as bad as your first pitch.
I don't have anything on 50 Cent. That's all I'm going to say.
Not many do. The only one I can think of is right after Josh Jackson got drafted by the Suns last year. He threw out a first pitch at the Diamondbacks game. That was pretty terrible, but not many others that are in the realm of that 50 Cent first pitch at Citi Field.
Mine was not George W. Bush's, but it was definitely not as bad as 50 Cent one. I will hang my hat on that.
I've seen worse. I can confidently say I've seen worse.
It didn't bounce.
That's a good thing. You got it all the way to the plate. 1-2 misses outside. It's 2-2.
It's an off night for Luke Roscom. I had to make him work. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's the excuse we're using now.
That's what I'm going with.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Keep telling yourself that. 2-2. Swung on and missed. Good elevated fastball from Pepio, and he strikes out the side in order. Gatemen down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 7th. We're headed to the top of the 8th. Harbor Hawks trying to scratch something across against the Gatemen pitching staff. It's 9-0 Wareham on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Clobbered high and deep to right center field, and this one is gone. A home run.
Eastern Propane and Oil is the Wareham Gatemen home run sponsor. Each time a home run is hit by a Gatemen player, Eastern Propane and Oil donates a camp scholarship to a deserving youth. Eastern Propane and Oil, we're in your neighborhood.
The Gatemen would like to thank Wareham Country Market for helping to feed the Gatemen players and staff after games. They are located about a quarter of a mile from the field on Route 6, offering a convenience store, a Dunkin' Donuts, and a deli. At the intersection of Route 195 and 28, Wareham Crossing, home of Lowe's, Target, and Red Robin, is the sponsor of the Gatemen Intern Program. They help to provide a world-class internship experience in broadcasting, marketing, sports management, and baseball operations. Check out Wareham Crossing's schedule for this year's Summer Movie Night Series.
Tyler Kaiser into the game in the top of the 8th inning for the Gatemen. On in relief of Cody Carroll, the big right-hander from Eastern Florida State Junior College, heading to the University of Miami next season. Last time we saw Kaiser, a magnificent relief appearance at Harwich in that 2-0 loss. Had 5 strikeouts, and the fastball was really working from that day, Cam.
Sure was. He was what kept them in the game that day. Had swing and miss stuff with that fastball. A little bit of movement on it at the end. Was painting the corners, the outside corners to right-handed hitters extremely well. See if he can continue that tonight.
As we mentioned, the big right-hander, 6'6", 210 pounds, out of Orlando, Florida. This season at EFSJC, Eastern Florida State Junior College, a 2.32 ERA in 14 games, 73 2/3 innings pitched, 63 hits, 38 runs, but only 19 of them were earned, 10 walks and 80 strikeouts. The strikeout to 9 innings ratio at 9.77.
It's pretty decent.
It's not bad. Pinch hitter here for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. It'll be the left-handed hitting Adam Elliott from Louisville, listed as a pitcher but also hits for the Cardinals. 1-0 to him is swung on and missed, and it's 1-1. Elliott hit .214 this season in 14 at-bats for the Cardinals as a sophomore down in Louisville, Kentucky. Also pitched, didn't give up an earned run all season. 15 games, 9 1/3 innings pitched. 6 hits, 4 runs, none earned. 6 walks and 11 strikeouts. It's now 3-1 to him out of the hand of Tyler Kaiser. 9-0 Gatemen, top of the 8th inning. 3-1. Called strike, enter half, and it's full at 3-2. Full count pitch. Swung on and missed. Just strikeout for Tyler Kaiser. He keeps the good times rolling for the Gatemen. Strikeout number 1 for Kaiser today. Number 10 on the day for the Gatemen pitching staff. And there's 1 out for another pinch hitter here for, or actually it will be a pinch hitter here for Hyannis. It'll be Alec Trella from Memphis stepping in. 229 average this season with the Tigers for Trella. So now that this game has clearly gotten out of hand for Hyannis, they're going to just try to get as many batters into the lineup as possible.
See if they can get Trella going. Just 1 for 11 on the season for him. In a blowout game, might as well see what you got, especially from your temp guys.
Struggling this season on the Cape, but he also, as we mentioned, struggled this season in Conference USA with the Memphis Tigers. It's just a sliver over 220, 229 on the season. Did have some good power, though, 13 doubles and 7 home runs out of his 46 hits. 2-1. Slash foul back and right, and it's 2-2. We won't see 3 pinch hitters in a row. Davis Wenzel in the on-deck circle. He'll be the next batter to face Tyler Kaiser. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the pitch. Check swing, tipped into the glove apparently, according to the home plate umpire. So that's a strikeout for Tyler Kaiser. Alec Trella completely disagrees. And there's 2 down for the top of the order and Davis Wenzel.
Yeah, and obviously on a 3rd strike there, he wants to stay up at the plate, but it's not often you see a hitter argue that he didn't foul the ball. Usually that's the argument that he did. I think he would know better than most anyone if it's hitting off his bat. He feels it. Maybe just a sell job by Trello there.
I think Hyannis will do just about anything to get some runners on base here, down 9-0 in the top of the 8th inning. Things have gone from bad to worse in this game. 0-1. Good breaking ball that time from Kaiser, and it's 0-2. Wenzel 0 for 2 today, did reach base back in the 6th inning on a walk. The 0-2. Fouled into the mask of Amditas, who barely flinched. I mean, that is crazy.
I have never seen a more tortured baseball player than Michael Amditas. It seems every time he's behind the plate for the Gatemen, he's getting hit somewhere. This time, at least, it has padding. It's usually in the wrist or in the thigh where there's no coverage, but that man takes an absolute beating back there.
And it's a guy that struggled with injuries in the last couple of seasons, missed his entire senior season in high school with labrum surgery, then broke his leg his freshman year at Miami, missed pretty much the entire season, was granted a medical red shirt, and then this season missed a month with a bone bruise in his leg. And now the trainer's going to come out from the Gatemen dugout, it looks like, and it appears that Amditas doesn't want anything to do with a visit. He stays on the mound. Now he'll trot back behind home plate.
And I think they might have been checking on the umpire there. Did it catch a bit of him as well? Looks like they were only talking to him. Nothing really for Amditas, so I don't know. Everyone looks to be fine. We're all good.
We're all healthy here at Spillane. 0-2, waved on and missed. Tyler Kaiser strikes out the side in order in the 8th, and Hyannis still cannot get any offense going against this Gatemen pitching staff. 9-0 as we head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. We'll be back with the Gatemen coming to bat once again on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Make sure you sign your child up today for the Gatemen Robertson's GMC Youth Clinics. This year we have 5 one-week sessions for children 5 to 14. We also have 2 special sessions for hitting and pitching open to teens. Registration is available online at gatemen.org or through forms available at the merchandise booth.
Hello everyone and welcome back for another Cape League update. All the games have gone final tonight other than the one here in Wareham. For starters, we'll go to Chatham against Brewster. Chatham won that game 7-0. Hunter Gaddis was the winning pitcher in that one as he pitched 4 scoreless innings. Over in Cotuit came back, as mentioned earlier, with a 5-run 7th inning, won that game 5-4. Over in Bourne, the Bourne Braves beat the Harwich Mariners 4-3. And over in Falmouth, the Armistead Red Sox scored 1 run in the first inning, and that was all they needed, as they shut out the Falmouth Commodores 1-0. That's the Cape League update. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Ian. Things starting to get wrapped up here at Spillane Field. 9-0, the Gatemen lead. As it has been absolute dominance all day long for the Wareham Gatemen. And now it looks like Hyannis is really starting to wave the flag here. Looks like there's a position player on the mound and not one of the two-way guys. It's Braden Como from Rice on the mound for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks.
Not someone who was listed as one of those two-way guys, as you said. So just trying to conserve some arms here. Got some good hitting numbers, though. 320 average for Rice, but not a lot of experience on the mound. Just trying to get through one inning here.
He's got a big smile on his face. He knows this is not something he's used to doing, and he's facing probably the hottest hitter, maybe not, definitely one of the top two, one of the UCLA guys. Jeremy Idens will lead it off against him here. And I can't tell if that's a breaking ball or a fastball. Either way, it comes in pretty soft on the outer half, and it's 0-1.
What I can tell on that pitch, that this umpire wants to get out of here too. That one looked like a couple inches off the plate, but gets the call and then gets another one.
It's now 0-2 to Hyannis. 3 for 4 today. A double and 2 singles, a run scored. 0-2 to him. Swung on, popped up right side and foul. It's going to drift out of play, and it's 0-2.
And I think you can notice that Como is not typically a pitcher for the way he went after that. Full speed into that fly ball. Not often you're going to see a pitcher doing that.
Typically an infielder, so Como used to chasing pop flies foul, but not used to chasing him off the mound. As another one fouled off by Hyannis, stays alive, and it's 0-2.
Typically, pitchers are trying to get out of the way of those, and when it's popped up near the mound, it's anyone but the pitcher going after it.
0-2. Looping curveball, swung on, hit to Wenzel at short. Tough hop off the lip, but his throw is in time. A good stretch at first base from Griffin Day. And there's one gone, as Jeremy Hyannis will likely end the day at 3 for 5.
And we might need to get him in the pitch clock machine that we have here at Spillane, because that thing was coming in mighty slow.
Listen, he's trying his best out there. He's an infielder. He's not used to throwing darts.
Taking one for the team here for the Harbor Hawks.
And now we'll see a pinch hitter. This one actually a two-way guy. We'll see Cade Cavalli come in and pinch hit for the Gatemen. So I'm come on in relief as a part of the Orleans doubleheader on Sunday. Now seeing his first batting appearance of this season. The rising sophomore from Oklahoma, first pitch to him, misses outside, and it's 1-0. 1-0 pitch to Cavalli is swung and chopped down the third base line, but foul. Cavalli this season 208 in 55 games, 38 hits, 7 doubles, 6 home runs, 28 RBIs, 29 walks, but a lot of strikeouts, 90 Ks on the season for Cavalli.
Big strike zone, free swinger. That'll happen.
Not sure which way Oklahoma wants him to go, if he's going to be a pitcher or a position player, although we have seen guys like Brendan McKay of Louisville from a couple of years ago. He went both ways pretty consistently, but they started trending him toward the pitching route. Want him to become a part of that starting rotation for the Sooners next season. 2-2, down low, and it's 3-2. Three balls and 2 strikes, the count to Cade Cavalli, who came on to replace Oliver Dunn's spot in the lineup. 3-2, called strike 3. Strikeout for Braden Como on the mound, and a huge round of applause and cheer from the Hyannis Harbor Hawks dugout. There's 2 outs.
And a big smile by Como in return. That was the old Uncle Chuck right there. A huge curveball coming in, awfully slow to Cavalli. Wonder the last time Cavalli saw a pitch come in that slow that wasn't in batting practice.
I'd say Little League, maybe, unless he's faced a knuckleballer at some point in his career. I mean, that's the only other thing I can think of. Batter now is Parker Phillips. Came on to replace Andrew Vaughn. Back in the 6th inning. This one skied into fairly deep left center field. Underneath it, though, is Lott, but he's called off by the center fielder, Eric Rivera. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Braden Como in the 8th. Position player on the mound doesn't matter for the Harbor Hawks. It's still a 9-0 lead for the Gatemen, though. We're headed to the top half of the 9th inning. The Gatemen will try to shut it down coming up on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The 80 Makepeace Company also owns and operates Reed Custom Soils, the area's leading manufacturer of custom soils, including CU structural soil and Rooflight certified green roof media. Reed Custom Soils is also a manufacturer and distributor of baseball infield mix and conditioners. To learn more, visit 80makepeace.com or reedcustomsoils.com.
At E.L. Morse Lumber, commitment to the customer shines through in every aspect of their daily operations, including their competitive prices, complete product selection, and superior customer care. Visit E.L. Morse Lumber, located on Cranberry Highway in Wareham, for service with a personal touch.
Established in 1877, TM Ryder is a family-run insurance agency located in downtown Middleborough, Massachusetts. TM Ryder's goal is to find the best coverage at a fair rate for their customers, but they really value giving the best service they can provide. Visit the office on Thatcher's Row if you would like P&C insurance information, quotes, and policies.
At E.L. Morse Lumber.
Ryan Stoudemire, in to close the top of the ninth for the Gatemen. 9-0 the lead for Wareham over the Hyannis Harbor Hawks from Spillane Field. Alongside Cam Stewart, I'm J.D. Rachi. Thanks so much for making us a part of your night. Another replacement in the infield as well. Isaac Collins will come in to play second base. So Cade Cavalli pinch hits for Oliver Dunn, but Collins in as the defensive replacement. So Stoudemire on the mound, Collins at second. The replacements you need to know here in the ninth. Another pitching change here for the Gatemen, and this pitching change, as always, is brought to you by the Bay Point Club, Onset's 18-hole championship golf course, with a driving range open 7 days a week and senior discounts offered every day. We're always welcome to the public. So go, get to the point. Kyle Wilkie, typically a catcher from Clemson, will now step in as a pinch hitter for Trevor Hover here in the ninth. First pitch from Stoudemire to Wilkie is a called strike on the inner half on a breaking ball, and it's 0-1.
This guy must just have gotten a scheduled day off today. He's in his 3 games this year, 375, 3 for 8, a couple of stolen bases for them.
Wilkie out of Clemson takes the ball outside, and it's 1-1.
Numbers are pretty good for the Tigers this season as well. 324 average, drove in 40 runs, 862 OPS.
1-1 hits the outside corner, and it's 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes, the pitch. Swung on, slap foul. So Wilkie staying alive here on a ball and 2 strikes from Ryan Stoudemire. Wilkie, as I mentioned, typically a catcher for the Clemson Tigers. 1-2, swung on, lazily flied out to right field. On a sliding catch, nice play from Jeremy Ivins. Third web gem of the day, and the first not from a guy named Oliver Dunn for the Gatemen defense. And there is 1 gone for Eric Rivera. Had to take a quick peek, make sure Hyannis wasn't pinch hitting him as well. Rivera will swing the bat here in the ninth. He's 0 for 3. First pitch from Stoudemire to Rivera. This is outside, and it's 1-0. Rivera 277 this season. This is outside. It's Juno from West Park, Florida, and Flanagan High School. 6 foot, 185. The 2-0. Fastball just misses the outer half, and it's quickly 3-0. Rivera actually hit worse as a freshman, 256, but was Conference USA All-Freshman team member last season. 3-0 misses low, and it's a 4-pitch walk to Rivera. Runner on at first with 1 out for Seth Gray. Seth Gray has been pretty much the lone source of offense here for Hyannis today. He's 3 for 3 with a trio of singles. The only other Harbor Hawk with a hit is right behind him in Pedro Pages. First pitch to him, clips the outside corner for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Gray, the left-hander from Wright State, came into today hitting 286. That average will bump up. 0-1. Called strike outer half, and it's 0-2. 0-2 the count from Stoudemire to Gray. This one hit on a couple of bounces to the shortstop. On to second for one, on to first. It's not going to be in time. Amditas there to back it up, though, so there will be no runner advancing. It'll be a 6-4 fielder's choice for Gray. He's now 3 for 4 on the day. And down to their last, I should say, out are the Harbor Hawks, and into the batter's box is Pedro Pages. Page is 1 for 3 today, grounded into a double play in the second, struck out swinging back in the fifth, and singled in his last at-bat in the seventh. Stoudemire 6'3", 250 on the mound. The first pitch is swung on and roped right to the shortstop, Kreidler, who makes the play for the final out of the inning and the final out of the game. A dominant 9-0 win for the Wareham Gatemen as they head to 7-2 on the season. Meanwhile, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks fall to 500 at 4-4, and frankly, just about everything was impressive today for the Gatemen camp.
Yeah, they had it going early, 4 runs in the first and didn't look back. They didn't let up. 2 out runs. They had 6 of them tonight, something we have said has been the Achilles heel for the Gatemen this year. They have left a lot of guys on base. They didn't do that so much tonight. And Connor Lund, they plug into the starting rotation today, and he answers the call and then some. 8 strikeouts and 5 shutout innings. Gotta say, he was so unbelievable tonight for the Gatemen and just been great for them in his 2 outings this year.
And perhaps even more impressive for the Gatemen, those 9 runs were just on 9 hits. So aggressive base running, well-timed hits, and a lot of great stuff from the Wareham Gatemen tonight.
Yeah, it sure was. And that's how you get to the best record in the Cape League. Let's see if it keeps going for them tomorrow. It's going to be a tough weekend for them. A couple long road trips for the Gatemen this weekend.
Couple of long road trips. A short one tomorrow, though. Heading out to the Bourne Braves in Doran Park for the first time this season. The, let's call them arch rivals of the Wareham Gatemen.
Certainly a team that likes to knock the Gatemen out of the playoffs.
Did it last year in the Western Division Finals, and the Gatemen will get their first crack at the Braves tomorrow. That game coming up at 6 o'clock. Our coverage will begin at 5:30 with Gatemen Pregame Live. All right, folks, thank you for listening to this broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network. The general manager of the Wareham Gatemen is Andrew Lang. The producers of today's broadcast are Trevor Russo and Cam Gonsalves. Our sideline reporter is Our sideline reporter is actually Mary Orders. I got a little ahead of myself reading the copy here. Thanks to our writer, Ian Vicera, and today's WCTV broadcaster, Henrique Demore. The next broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball, as we mentioned, will be tomorrow as the Wareham Gatemen visit the Bourne Braves, game starting at 6 o'clock. Our coverage begins at 5:30 with Gatemen Pregame Live. For Cameron Stewart, I'm J.D. Rachi. Thanks for tuning into this presentation of Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Once again, your final score from Spillane Field, the Gatemen 9, Hyannis nothing. Thanks so much, and we'll see you tomorrow.